Gen Z ni nani? E-boldness mnatoa wapi?
Kuna mentality fulani yenye inakujenga, si a rebellion really, but ni ya ku-question system.
Engagements that are life-changing and provocative.
When you are young, your core business should be to create value in yourself.
Join me, DJ Andy C, bringing to you Kingdom Vibe, full of gospel bangers.
Join us for Angaza Show.
Every Saturday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Only on KBC Channel 1.
Hana karo ya shule.
Maskini ni kitu mbaya sana.
Waishia tu kampo, ukule mbuku kabisa.
Graduate. Utabaki papa hapa.
Kama kuna kitu yao mlichukua, simrudishe tu tafadhali.
Haiwezekani.
Nini mnapigania?
Shamba.
Unafanya nini hapa? Hii ni shamba ya babangu. Shida yako iko wapi?
Alinivamia akiwa na vijana wengine wawili.
Ni kweli ama si kweli?
Beautiful Wednesday morning, the third day of the month of September. It is a Wednesday, so it is, as they call it, Ladies' Night. And right here on the show, we call it Women at the Forefront. We have a segment that is focused mainly on the women who are out here doing great things, women who are breaking the ceiling, women who are just showing the next generation of women that everything is possible as long as you put your mind and get to work on it. It will for sure come to fruition just as you want it to come to fruition. And that being said, we have a lady who's doing just that, who will be joining us later today, and her name is Abigail Zuena. Abigail Zuena is the director of Finsco Africa, and she'll be here to just talk to us about building to break the glass ceiling. And her building is all about real estate, so literally getting to build, of young women breaking barriers and making a difference. That is what we will be looking at right here today when it comes to women at the forefront. And Mike Megwe is here with me as well. Good morning, Mike. How's your day started off?
My day is starting off well, and good morning to you too, Vivian, and whoever is watching KBC Channel 1. This is Good Morning Kenya, the gold standard of starting your morning. But I am intrigued, Vivian. Wednesday night is Ladies' Night.
Yeah.
Now, with the advent of social media, we have Woman Crush Wednesday.
Yes.
I'm tempted to ask, because away from all this, you pay attention to the World Men's Day. Is the same day as World Toilet Day. Really? Really?
What does that have to say? What is that saying about
who designated
your gender?
that? Who designated that day to men, and at the same time World Toilet Day? Kuna mtu anafaa kujibu swali.
Whoever decided that they should run concurrently has questions to answer. But I mean, on Monday is usually Man Crush Monday, so
okay, Man Crush Monday.
There's a day of the week for you as well.
So do we say on Monday? Do we say Men's Night? Is there something like Men's Night?
Not really.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. But hapo kwa Men's Day and the World Toilet Day, it's a whole different conversation. But
we were played.
Yeah, we were played. Somebody played us. But welcome to the program. This is how we start your morning, and we are glad you are watching Good Morning Kenya. A lot has happened in the last 24 hours, and more interestingly, the cases against the two governors, that is the ex-governor of Bungoma, that is Wangamati Wycliffe, and also Hilary Barchok, who is the governor of Bomet. The cases commenced yesterday regarding the accusations that have been leveled against them, and we shall be keeping you informed on what is going, or the outcomes of that case. Today I want us to take a different perspective, and we look at the future of NG-CDF. Do we reform it? Do we retain it? Or do we scrap it? Critics have said that NG-CDF is in a way going against devolution. MPs feel that it has helped people at the grassroots level. Others are calling for a total overhaul or a rethink into how this NG-CDF is going to be. Remember that the High Court had ruled that the NG-CDF will stop ceasing by 30th June of 2026 at the stroke of midnight. So what is the future of NG-CDF? That is a conversation that I will be taking together with Kevin Osido, who is the Executive Director, County Governance Watch, and Professor Joseph Nzioki, who is a leadership and governance expert. Also, Patrick Musili Bangula, who is a governance expert and chairperson of Kenya Water Institute. That is a conversation that will be coming to you immediately. This is the first conversation we'll be having. And also I'll be having yet another conversation with a gentleman called Peter Kihara. We are going to talk about e-mobility. This is mostly matters to do with climate change, and that conversation will be coming to you right here on Good Morning Kenya. But before I even take you to, we do a newspaper review, I want us to have the quote for today. Let's have the quote for today. And today we are going to have a quote by Zig Ziglar. What you get by achieving your goal is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. That is Zig Ziglar. That is something you need to ponder to as you start your morning. Let's now take a look at what is making headlines in our local dailies. I will start with the Star newspaper. This is what is captured on the front page of the Star newspaper. Youth vote. Rivals gear up for fight over Gen Z voters. That story is told on page 6. 6 million voters expected to tilt the equation in 2027 election. Read that story on page 6 of the Star newspaper. How staff salaries are draining varsity coffers. That story is told on page 4 and 5 of the Star newspaper, and there's a tabulation on the front page of how this distribution looks like, and you can read that in detail on page 4 and 5 of the Star newspaper. Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja apologizes to MCAs as Ruto, Raila come to his rescue. Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has 1 month to mend fences with MCAs or once again face their wrath. This was the resolution of a high-stakes parallel meeting led by President William Ruto and ODM leader Raila Odinga that rescued the county bulls from impeachment. Read that story on page 2 of the Star newspaper. Huddle for reform as governors place demands on UHC, that is universal health coverage. Story is told in detail on page 8 of the Star newspaper. Yet one more story that is captured on the front page of the Star newspaper. is that corruption charges. Former Governor Wangamati freed on 1.5 million bail and Barchok out on 5 million bail. That story is told on page 9 of the Star newspaper. Vivian?
All right, with me is a copy of the Daily Nation, and on the top page we have why Ruto Raila saved Sakaja. That is what is on the front page of the Daily Nation, and worry about disruptive poll campaigns in the capital city if governor and deputy are ousted. And then there's also one of the reasons why, according to the Daily Nation, they are saving Sakaja, fear of a showdown with a former DP Rigathi Gachagua in by-election and impact on 2027, concerns broad-based government critiques exploiting ouster plot to derail unity pact. So that story has been fleshed out on page 4 of the Daily Nation. That is why Ruto Raila saved Sakaja. On the front page, we also have governors set up resistance against executive decrees. We also have puzzle of ghost schools, learners and lost billions. Then we have a story here. After 45 billion shillings NTSA deal, tycoons eye sugar trade. Businessmen Farid Abdul Razak Sheikh and Jabir Abdul Nasir, who are eyeing a 45 billion smart driving license tender, have made an aggressive entry into the sugar industry. So those are some of the stories that have been captured on the top page of the Daily Nation. Going into the pages of the same newspaper, we have bittersweet promotion of elderly tutors transferred far from families. Now, hundreds of teachers promoted after years of waiting are stunned to learn they have been transferred far from their stations, some with just months to retirement. They are among 23,000 promoted by the Teacher Service Commission in May, securing higher job grades and enhanced pay. Now, the teachers finally received their letters on Monday, only to realize they have been posted to regions they consider far-flung. That story is on page 3. Still on matters education, CBC meets AI. How teachers are using ChatGPT in the classrooms. Now, with the launch of the competency-based education, CBE, teachers were advised to shift from rote learning to nurturing critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity. Now, in crowded classrooms with limited resources and piles of assignments waiting to be marked, however, with piles of assignments waiting to be marked, however, they often felt out of reach. It often felt out of reach. Another story right here, we have free learning, billions lost in ghost schools. So on page 2 and page 3 of the Daily Nation is matters education. You can get yourself a copy of the Daily Nation and get into that. Now on page 4, that's the story that I had mentioned on the top page, why Ruto Raila saved Sakaja. It has been highlighted right there. How Sakaja removal plan was scuttled. Several meetings held by Mr. Raila Odinga and one by the president put paid to the ouster plan. That's also right there on page 5 of the Daily Nation. County bosses step up resistance to executive decrees. And then there's that story of sugar and the tycoons who are looking into the 45 billion Kenyan shillings. One more story right here. MPs now say Kanja must face public over police reforms. MPs have dismissed a request by Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja to be heard in camera over disputes with the National Police Service Commission. Instead, they issued fresh summons for Mr. Kanja, accusing him of frustrating reforms. That's a story that is on page 10 of the Daily Nation. Mike, don't know what else you have right there.
Yeah,
Standard.
I have a copy of the Standard, and this is what is being reported on the front page of the Standard. Stop this mess. Jubilant fighters boast of seizing farms in Mandera and even thank Kenya for quote-unquote warm welcome as citizens flee their homes and government maintains an ominous silence. This is no isolated incident. From classrooms in Mandera turned into barracks to fishermen gunned down on Lake Turkana, Kenyans are left to bury their dead and abandon their homes as the officials looks away. The president is keen on politics. The CDF is missing in action, while the Defense Cabinet Secretary is only seen on the lawns of State House during cabinet meetings. That story is told on page 4 and 5 of the Standard newspaper. A look at the sports. Why playing at Kasarani will be magical for Kenya? Kenya, Gambia set for crucial 2026 World Cup qualifiers. The two teams have met once in the 3-draw last match. Harambee Stars captain Michael Olunga believes playing at home will give Kenya a big lift as they prepare to face Gambia in a crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier at Kasarani Stadium on Friday from 4 p.m. That is a match that is expected. Actually, yesterday I was checking around and the tickets for the match have been sold out.
Oh, already?
I was trying to access one.
Shock on you.
Yeah, shock on me. It was already sold out. McCarthy crowned coach of the month. Harambee Stars head coach, that is Benny McCarthy, has been named the Betika coach of the month for August, becoming the third foreign tactician to win the award. The South African legend follows his compatriot Carlos Katiwa of Cabras Sugar RFC, who won in April, and Burundi's Etienne Dairagije of the Kenya Police FC, who scooped the June accolade. But Vivian, you have to give it to McCarthy, away from the motivation that Harambee Stars received.
Yeah.
You have to admit that they have changed the way they play their matches.
Absolutely.
Because not many Kenyans were, some people, if I may put it that way, did not really expect Harambee Stars to do much at Chan, but they did.
We have to give him to him.
Yes.
For sure. He planned the games very, very well. I mean, he knows his squad and he was putting the right people at the right time in the pitch, to get to play. So, I mean, we have to give it to him. For sure, 100%. He's doing an amazing job with a team.
And of course, we wish Harambee Stars all the best in their match against the Gambia on Friday. Let's take a very short break. We'll be right back to continue with our first conversation about the national government's constituencies development fund. Do we retain it, scrap it, or rethink about it? Stay with us.
Hana karo ya shule.
Maskini ni kitu mbaya sana.
Waishia tu kampo, ukule mbuku kabisa.
Graduate. Utabaki papa hapa.
Kama kuna kitu yao mlichukua, simrudishe tu tafadhali.
Haiwezekani.
Nini mnapigania?
Shamba.
Unafanya nini hapa? Hii ni shamba ya babangu. Shida yako iko wapi?
Alinivamia akiwa na vijana wengine wawili.
Ni kweli ama si kweli?
Greetings in the name of the Most High, Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
Na mbono nangengania bwana ya mwenye na nilimwambia wewe am actually married.
So what
to 5 breathing wives.
Kazi ya ujasusi ni kazi ambao inakutambulisha ujue ule mtu mahali yako na vile ako mpaka jina.
Can you tell this honorable court what is the name of that person? Because your owner money has been poured. Mbona sijakotoa ngozi niuse na pia inatengeneza bags.
Mheshimiwa Fred.
Sasa mimi unaniuliza, si wewe ndio unauliza?
Kwani mimi mnyama mheshimiwa?
Between me and you.
Wewe
ulipewa ngapi ndio nimalize? I can double or triple.
Wewe sikiza, hatuko hapa mambo. Tena uoni haya mbele yako tu unataka
hata siwe naongea na wewe.
Na wewe pia mimi ndio naamrisha hii koti.
One thing goes, like now, much ikienda, God gives you another thing.
I experience many challenges, especially when I will go to a bus station where I need to board a matatu, and they ask me, where are you going? And I am forced to write somewhere for the conductor to understand how much he will cost me.
Praise the Lord. My name is Pastor Tim Wangi, and I want to invite you for a life-changing, transformative show.
I was blinded and thrown to the floor on my knees, just like Saul.
Conversations. Gen Z ni nani? E-boldness. Mnatoa wapi?
Kuna mentality fulani yenye inakujenga. Si a rebellion really, but ni ya ku-question system.
Engagements that are life-changing and provocative.
When you are young, your core business should be to create value in yourself.
Join me, DJ Andy C, bringing to you Kingdom Vibe, full of gospel bangers.
Join us for Angaza Show.
Every Saturday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Only on KBC Channel 1.
They say the art without art would just be, get it? We circumnavigate the globe and traverse the local scene to bring you art and culture at their very best. From fine art, culinary art, performing arts, and even cultural events, you name it, and we have got you covered. My name is Kevin Kasioki, and I will be serving you this and much, much more each and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
Wageni wakaribishwa.
So you want to know whether I love him or not?
Unajua hayawezekani. Nataka uhusiano wetu waendelee na mbele na mbele.
Nilidhani kuwa uliasi pendo langu kwako, lakini naahidi kutokusumbua tena.
Kuna mambo nataka kukuambia.
Kama sio kwamba unanipenda, basi sitaki kusikia.
Welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. My name is Mike Megwe. This is The Viewpoint, and today we are going to take different conversation and look at the National Government Constituencies Development Fund. You remember there was a ruling that it will cease operating at the stroke of midnight on 30th of June 2026. But on the other hand, there are the MPs are pushing for its entrenchment or having it have an anchor in law. And there's critics who feel that NG-CDF has gone against devolution. So the question here is, what is the future of NG-CDF? Do we scrap it? Do we retain it? Or do we make a total overhaul of the NG-CDF? Now, for that conversation, I'm joined by Patrick Musili Bangula, who is a governance expert and also the chairperson of Kenya Water Institute. Welcome to Good Morning Kenya.
Good morning, our listeners.
Yes. And also Kevin Osido, who is the executive director of County Governance Watch. Welcome.
Thank you so much, and asante kwa mwaliko.
Karibu sana. And Professor Nzioki Joseph, who is a leadership and governance expert. Karibu sana, Prof.
Asante sana.
Now, let's get into this discussion. And first of all, I want to get your feeling about all this debate about CDF. And I'll start with you, Bwana Patrick. What is your take? Should we scrap it, retain it, or rethink it?
Let me first of all appreciate for inviting us to this studio.
Yes.
And I say, before even we decide on whether to scrap this CDF, we need to understand the history about it. When did it come to operation, and what necessitated it to be put into operation? One, CDF, not NG-CDF, initially was started in 2003. And became operational in 2004.
Okay, allow me to cut you short. I'm told your mic has a problem. But Osido, I'll throw the same question to you. Do you think we should retain it, scrap it, or make a total reform?
So that's a very good question. And if you look at the context of things, particularly given the reasons as to why we are talking about whether to scrap, retain, or overhaul, bottom line is that Kenyans are looking for certain services to be delivered. And as Prof was already taking us through the history,
yes,
there is a very good reason as to why initially there was a proposal in 2002 by one of the, I forget his name, former members of parliament, to be able to provide a mechanism through which members of parliament would really be at the central of, ensuring that certain services are delivered to the people. Because if you look at the history of money and development, and indeed politics, the then president used to give members of parliament certain envelopes full of cash to go and, engage with their constituents and to be able to go and ensure that certain aspects of the promises that were made during campaigns insofar as what then government would do would be accomplished. And if you look at the clamor around the review of all those processes, including the review of our political culture and our governance system, up to the review of, the conversations around the review of the Constitution, the concerns were how do we ensure that good work, quote unquote, is forestalled and is continued. And so one of the former members of parliament proposed the CDF, Constituency Development Fund, which would then be a fund that takes care of certain specific functions. And part of these, of course, included concerns around infrastructure for education, and also part of it was bursaries. We had concerns around security, particularly within the certain installations like police stations, chiefs, among others. Then we also had empowerment of youth, women, and persons with disabilities, particularly around their role in also executing affirmative functions. Yeah, and so that therefore is really the background of how the conversations around Constituency Development Fund began. But also notice that before then, we used to have a governance structure, which was called the Local Authority Service Delivery Action Plan, the last DAP processes, and then it moved to what is called LATIF, Local Authority Transfer Funds, based on our former local government structures. Now, it moved from how do we take this out of the hands of the politicians, particularly because of sustainability issues, and also ensuring that the roles that were being engaged or done by CDF within the political phase. And take note of politicians now, particularly the members of parliament. So it moved over into 2005, 2007, we began having Minister of Local Government, where, of course, citizens were still at the central focus of, initiating priorities and plans for their development processes. But remember that as we are talking about this particular process, the clamor for a new constitution is already happening up to the referendum of 2005, the first referendum of the new constitution, and then now we had the 2010 constitution, which now introduces devolution. So if you look at the kind of history that we are talking about, the imagination is that there are certain functions that parliamentarians, particularly MPs, are supposed to be doing based on the resources or the financial resources that they are supposed to be given. And take note of the fact that as we are talking about all these governance processes and tools of governance, there are also other ongoing issues. For example, the Constitution introduces Schedule 4, which therefore says that there are functions that have to be exercised by national government and also by county governments. But also remember that at the same time, there are ongoing amendments to the CDF Act of 2002, with the first amendment happening in 2003. Then I think the second one is happening in 2005, 2007, up to the latest, which was a 2013 Act, which is now under review in 2025. And with all these proposals are being driven by members of parliament to try and circumvent and ring-fence these resources for their functions. Now, what that means is that CDF moves from being CDF to now NG-CDF, which is national government. But take note of the fact that as we talk about national government, the Constitution talks about functions of national government and functions of county government. But then, in between the amendments, there are also functions that are being taken from national government. For example, initially, members of parliament in some of those amendments had decided that sports would be their function. They had decided that things like hospitals, would be their functions, which then they would undertake within and through CDF. But with the coming of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, those functions are now taken away. So part of the amendments that we see in 2023, in 2017, 2023, all the way to what we are seeing right now, with the desire now to entrench CDF into the Constitution, are trying to cure two things. One is the spirit of the Constitution, but two is also the place of the members of Parliament, particularly the National Assembly. Of course, taking note of the governance, and I'm sure that we will discuss this because we're just trying to build the history of CDF, NG-CDF. Part of it is also the leadership and governance structure, with the introduction of now a national board at the national level called the NG-CDF board. And then at the constituency level, we have the CDF committees. And then now you begin to ask yourself, so if you have a governor and you have a member of parliament who is presumably is not there in law, calling him or herself the patron of CDF, because that is also not anywhere, is neither here nor there, how does that play within the governance and leadership structure, particularly towards the spirit of service delivery and meeting the expectations of the citizens?
All right, Prof, given what Osido has said and how members of parliament are arguing, what is your take?
Thank you so much, Migui, and thank you for inviting me here today. Thank you to my colleagues, Osido and Honorable Bangula. I think we need to first of all appreciate the role that NG-CDF has played right from inception in 2003 through an act of parliament by Honorable Muriuki, the former member of parliament for Kalau. If you walk or if you go around the country, you'll be able to see a lot of development that has come as a result of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund. But then to appreciate the history that OSIDO has given us, CDF came alive under the old constitution. Now we have a 2010 constitution. We are in a new dispensation. And remember, our constitution is very clear. It creates a two-tier system of government. We have the national government with its functions. According to Schedule 4, we have the county governments with their functions. And now the debate arises, where is the place of NG-CDF, you know, in the whole framework of the Constitution? And Mingwi, remember, the 2010 Constitution came alive as a result of entrenching accountability, transparency, and also ensuring that there was a firm framework of governance. And MPs have three main roles, and one of them is oversight. The other one is representation, and the other one is legislation. Now, when we come to NG-CDF, and it's true, according to the ruling by the midnight of June 30th, 2026, NG-CDF as we know it will cease in its operations. Remember, the Constitution is very clear that you cannot introduce a new system of government outside the Constitution. So as a country, we are a country governed by the Kenya Constitution 2010, and any law emanating from the Constitution has to be in compliance with the same Constitution. Now, when we look at the NG-CDF and you try to look at the entire Constitution, where the current NG-CDF Act is anchored on separate articles of the Constitution, but then the mandate is not very explicit as per the Constitution, because when you go through the NG-CDF Act, you see mentions of Article 6 of the Constitution, you see mentions of Article 10 of the Constitution, but then when you look closely and keen, throughout the Constitution, we don't have a framework to establish the NG-CDF. So the issue about the NG-CDF is not whether we retain it or we scrap it, is first of all to ensure that whatever we do is anchored in law. And as of right now, and that is why NG-CDF has been able to be challenged successfully, not once, not twice. And I think what Parliament is doing by introducing the Constitution Amendment Bill 2025 is trying to cure that problem that has been recurring as to the legality of the NG-CDF. So I hope that Parliament succeeds in amending the Constitution to make sure that the NG-CF, as they are calling it right now, is entrenched in the Constitution. And then now from there, we can begin to talk about how do we make sure that the NG-CDF, its goals, its objectives, and its functions align with the Constitution, and also is geared towards serving the people without a conflict of interest. Because the challenges that we have been seeing with the NG-CDF is that MPs have usurped powers that are not supposed, they are not in their disposition. And with the entrenchment of the NG-CF, in the Constitution, and I believe under Article 204, I think now we can begin to have a conversation on going forward, because NG-CDF has played a very critical role in terms of socio-economic development. Then we may now start the conversation on how now do we make sure that NG-CDF has the proper governance structures, plays the roles that it's supposed to play without causing confusion or without, usurping powers that is not supposed to usurp.
All right. Patrick, having said all that, MPs have been very adamant, saying that it has transformed lives, from projects and even funding projects in schools, the case of bursaries. But on the other hand, critics are arguing that it is undermining devolution. From your perspective, is it undermining devolution? And if so, how?
Maybe, thank you. Let me start by addressing the issue of the CDF, and we ask ourselves this fundamental question.
Yes.
Is it solving the problems of the Kenyans? And do Kenyans need this fund? One of the areas that we saw during the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill, public participation, is that Kenyans were very responsive, and they said they really need this fund to be retained. And we saw it because parliamentarians went around seeking the opinion of Kenyans. And as an elected leader, you don't operate on your own vacuum. You operate on the interests of the people and the law of the land. And they must appreciate the members of parliament because they have tried to reinvent this CDF to make sure it's operational. Since 2003 up to date, they have been carrying various amendments on this law to ensure that it is not in contravention with the current constitution. And one of the areas that they were trying to address was one, public participation is done before this money is released, to get the opinion of the people. Yes, at the constituency level, you've got this money, but what are the priorities of the communities at that level? Number two, it will not be addressing, it should not be addressing the issues that are being addressed at the county level in the devolution. So with this amendment bill that is coming, or it's already running the process, it has gone through public participation, it has gone through the parliament, it's now at Senate level.
Yes.
It is reducing 3 funds. One is NG-CDF, Senate Oversight Fund, and GAV. And to me, what I'm thinking is, the parliamentarians should have gone a little bit further to also check on the money that is sent to the counties level. Is it addressing the development issues? Because when you listen to the people talking, they are saying the CDF, it's really touching us on the ground. It is a fund that is administered with very minimal cost. Very minimal cost. So you find that there is no much administrative cost in terms of paying salaries and running operations. No, it's a fund that when it's released, it goes directly to the...
Let me interrupt you kidogo. Bado umeki yako nimeambia imeleta shida. But you'll continue still on that point. But Osido, should the conversation be about scrapping it or everything surrounding it? Or is it about increasing more money to it? Number two, should it be elevated to be handled at the county level?
Mike, the ongoing conversation, in my view, is a very good conversation. However, it looks a little bit misplaced. And it is misplaced because we are more or less trying to cure a concern that has been going on, and that concern is a political concern, which in my view is the role of members of parliament, National Assembly, in handling or executing their responsibilities against what Prof told us as the 3 roles of parliamentarians. So there is the level of leadership, governance, and management of CDF, which is a political discussion which is ongoing. And then the second bit of it is the constitutional amendment process, which of course, as we know in 255 and 256, can be either done through popular initiative or through a parliamentary process. And then there is a third question, which I want is a third question, which is your second question, which you're asking, the question of the resources, the financing.
Yes.
And so therefore, what we must do, and what Mheshimiwa Otiende Amolo has done, if you look at Article 204, is talking about equalization fund. So there is a fund which is basically a source of resource that goes to counties certain counties, select counties, to be able to do certain things. So there's an amendment which has been proposed and is already ongoing, is now at the Senate, to be able to do two things. One is at 204A and at 204B. So 204A is talking about NG-CDF with very clear expectations. In that level, or rather at that level, it does not cure the political question.
Yes.
Because it is not telling us who is going to administer NG-CDF. Okay?
The question of who will be in charge of that.
The question of the role of the Member of Parliament, National Assembly. So let me just call it the role of parliamentarians. Yes. Because as Chair has also said, yes, there is also the Senate Oversight Fund, which is in 204B. Okay? So Senate and National Assembly is Parliament. So let me just say the role of parliamentarians, which is also another question, because if you look at the manner in which politics is done in this country, is as Kenyans say, vitu kwa ground, scratch my back, I scratch your back. So you give us NG-CDF at National Assembly level, and we give you Senate Oversight Fund at Senate level.
Quid pro quo.
So yeah, quid pro quo, as you might probably say. So the issue is that chances that whether Kenyans like it or not, that the entrenchment process, the constitution amendment process will fall are very slim. But still, it does not cure the management question, the role of the Member of Parliament, okay? So that you are left with the representation, legislation, lawmaking, and also oversight.
Yeah.
So we need to move further and ask ourselves, how does the proposals cure that political question, particularly around the management of CDF at the constituency level? Because I still hold the view that as things stand, ceteris paribus, all factors remaining constant, there is no hand of a parliamentarian in CDF by law.
Yes.
You don't see the MP. They are no longer patrons. They are not even chairs. They will tell you we don't even know the chair of CDF in some of our constituencies, how they are elected, how they are done what. It is a function of the National Board of NG-CDF, which is true. But if you look at how things are happening, and from County Governance Watch, we have engaged some of these fund managers who sit at the office of the Members of Parliament, National Assembly, at the constituency level. They are actually members of NG-CDF boards in their constituencies by default. But if you look at the NG-CDF Board Act, NG-CDF Act that creates the structure of the board, there is nowhere you will see either a PA or an assistant or a ward of the Member of Parliament. However, Mike, they play a very important role, because these are the people who will call the chair of the constituency fund, constituency development fund, the chair of that committee, and say there is a crisis, there is an emergency, and the MP has said we must address it first. But look at it, the law does not appreciate the MP as a very important figure. But the chair would rather listen to the PA, quote unquote, of the MP and stop other things that have been prioritized and say, we have an emergency that the Member of Parliament says we have to address. And funds will be allocated.
All right.
You move it further even to bursaries. Yes, Members of Parliament will tell you, we don't even know who gets these bursaries. But over time, Mike, we have seen them presiding over bursary functions. And if you look at any Member of Parliament, their social media pages, the biggest activities that they preside over in constituencies ni hiyo maneno ya bursaries. But if you look at the law, it does not create them anywhere. There's actually no space. So probably as I finish on this and we continue the conversation, mine is a proposal of a remodeling of NG-CDF, which I think is what you're calling overhauling, so that one, we look at the Schedule 4 functions. Remember, certain aspects of education are not devolved. They are national government function. Infrastructure, particularly on security issues, like police posts, etc., they are not devolved. So security as a total, in total, is not devolved. You have certain things like, of course, counties can engage in emergencies and other things. But there are also certain roads, infrastructural processes, projects of roads that are also not devolved. Certain classes, class B, C, I think up to D, are not devolved. But if you look at what NG-CDF funds are doing, they are largely attached to those particular programs and projects that are not devolved. So the conversation should move further into looking at how do we ensure that we remodel Schedule 4 to now allow those functions be either done at the county level, or we allow a mechanism through which the hand of the members of parliament will not still be seen, but that national government ministries and certain departments preside over those functions that are not devolved in a consultative and an effective manner through national government ministries in the counties and also county government departments at the county level.
All right, let's take a very short breather. We'll be right back to continue with this conversation. Stay with us.
Are you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with our music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
Katika Qur'an tukufu, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anatuamuru tukumbushane, kwani kukumbushana kunawafaa waumini. Kwa mujibu wa hadithi, Mtume Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam anatushauri tueneze ujumbe wake angalau kwa aya moja. Basi tunatia ari kufanya ambacho ni jukumu la kila Muislamu, kukumbushana mema na kukatazana maovu. Tunakuletea mawaidha za mashehe, wataalam, maustadh, madrasa, makala spesheli na Oktifatuma Yakub, mafunzo na historia za mitume na maswahaba, na burudani kupitia nashid na wasifu za munshid. Tazama ukumbi wa Kiislamu nami Alishe kila Ijumaa saa 9:30 katika KBC Channel 1.
Pesa ndengalale nazo. Kwani wewe unacheza punda?
Kwani wewe kila siku wewe unalala na pesa?
Kuna zangu za matumizi sio?
Zote utapewa asubuhi.
Basi lakini nyumbani kule watoto wafa. Halale kwa leo, kesho ataenda nyumbani. Amina. Kwani leo umefunga mbuzi?
Kwa nini tena?
Kupatia pesa uende nyumbani. Ukakuja hapa uje ufanye nini? Ati hakuna kulala. Utakaa mpaka saa ngapi? Mpaka saa 8 ndipo imerungia taisha. Could you please elaborate, clarify and substance yet whom are you in this house? Pale kama nyapa kitini watu wawili tu. Kwa nani? Kiti ya nani? Kiti ya nani?
You're watching Good Morning Kenya. This is The Viewpoint. The topic of today is about the future of NG-CDF. Do we reform, retain, or scrap? And Mr. Patrick, I had asked you about if CDF undermines devolution. If you may continue on that point.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me go back to my point and clarify and say the essence or the reason why CDF was brought into effect was to address the issues of marginalization of some communities back then, 2003, because some areas were marginalized by the government. They were not getting the resources like other regions. Number two, because of the multi-party system, there are some regions that were, if they were not the government, they were not being given the resources. All development agendas are not taking place in their regions. That's why this Member of Parliament for Kalau brought in this CDF fund to address those gaps and those deficiencies back then. Then with the advent of the Constitution 2010, which came into effect in 2010, it was meant now to ensure every region has got resources. Or it's well-funded, projects are taking place. That's why even the regions that were marginalized, like northeastern part of Kenya, now with the devolution, we can see they are getting resources. To some extent, we can say the CDF, it's a good fund. But the challenges, as my colleagues have said, there is kind of a duplication of the roles, and these funds are becoming too many. And if I'm to be asked, I would say this Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill of 2025, that is now going through the Parliament, has gone through the Parliament, it's now in Senate. It is addressing the three funds, that is CDF, Senate Oversight Fund, and the National Government Affirmative Action Fund. They should have also ensured in this constitutional amendment, they also bring in the issue of accountability to the governors. The money that is being sent to the county level through CRA, Commission Revenue Allocation, it is also utilized. My friend, I can tell you that we have got challenges with some counties. They get money, but you find there is little that goes to development. You find that all the money is going to the operations and the recurrent expenditure. We need to make sure our governors are also accountable. But now when I look at this amendment to the Constitution, one, we need to understand amending a Constitution is a very expensive and a rigorous process. It's not something that you wake up in the morning and you start doing and you complete. This amendment started back, sometimes back, and it's still going. They have not completed the process. We may even go to the point of doing the referendum, which is an expensive affair. I don't understand why we are doing piecemeal amendments to our Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land. We should carry an overall need assessment of our Constitution and they come up with an amendment bill that's going to address the gaps and the deficiencies that we are seeing.
Yes.
And what you're asking me is whether the CDF should be scrapped or not, or whether it's challenging or undermining the devolution.
Yes.
I can say there are some deficiencies because the money that's meant to go to back to the people, to the grassroots, is not reaching. Because governors, they have been given a leeway to trade the money the way they want. So find all the money is going to recurrent expenditure. There is very little, and I can give you an example, but I will not mention today, but it's a big challenge. It's a problem with our people because people are not getting the fair share of the government development at that local level. So when this referendum or this Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill was taking place back in March, in May, people express themselves, they say, this is the only fund that we can feel its presence. This is the only money that we can feel its presence. And you know now, let me tell you, Migwi, we must listen to our people and we must address the challenges that I have. It's either we retain the NG-CDF in the Constitution, we entrench it in the Constitution, or we make the money that's going to the counties level functioning by ensuring that governors are told now, the money that we're going to give you, ensure 15% or ensure that 12% is going to capital development or to infrastructural development. That is one of the challenges. Number two, you'll find that we've got a lot of duplication of funds, these funds. The devolution is giving money for the bursaries. You find the national government, even the office of the president. I think we need now to come to a point where we need to consolidate this money into one kitty that can really help our people. Because if MCAs are giving their bursaries, you find the MPs giving bursaries, you find that the office of the president is giving bursaries, the office of the governor is also issuing bursaries. You find these so many kits, the bursary kits, are not serving exactly the needs of the people. And you find there's still some challenges with the funding of the education. There's still some gaps. So my proposal is if we can consolidate this bursary kit. And I think this should also be entrenched in this Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill. They also bring the issue to do the bursaries because education is key. It's a basic need. It's also provided for in the Constitution that every Kenyan has got a right to access education.
Yes.
And I think this high time now, bursaries are very important, or even any form of support to our education system. It needs to be properly entrenched in the Constitution. We must protect our youth. We must protect our future. And the future of Kenya is when we give our youth quality education. You find today, we have one of the supreme laws of the country, but there are still challenges of implementing this Constitution. And when it comes to bringing the amendments, they are kind of discrimination. Because why would you want to entrench more funds into this, into the Constitution, and yet even the basic fund, like now we ensure that bursaries are consolidated. We need to think about it holistically, as my friend has said, and we'll carry out a rigorous review of this constitution, not a piecemeal. And me, I tend to think it's the amendment that has been proposed. It's a very good one, and I must thank the members of parliament and also the senators. But please consider the local citizen, the mwananchi. We must protect them. We must protect the future of Kenya. And I propose the bursaries need also to be part of this. And I don't want to bring this bill. I propose they should not bring this bill at this point, and then it is shut down during the referendum.
When it comes to bursaries, Osido, or let me first of all engage Prof on this. Do you think, you know, we have the MP bursaries, as Patrick has put it, there's the MCA and all that, Governor. Shouldn't that be taken away from all those funds, be consolidated, and be channeled to schools? What do you think?
Thank you, Migwi. First and foremost, I believe the future of the NG-CDF lies in the entrenchment within the Constitution, so that now from there we can begin to address the political question and also the governance question on how this fund is administered. I think in the Constitution Amendment Bill 2025, it states that an act of parliament will operationalize, you know, the amendment. Yes. But then let me come to matters education. According to Article 43 of our Constitution, it gives every child a right to basic education. Basic education means both primary and secondary education. And providing free and compulsory education is a mandate of the Constitution to the national government. And I don't see the purpose of us creating so many funds while we can just create one fund, like what is being proposed, the Kenya National Education Fund, so that instead of saying we are capping capitation at 22,000 shillings, why don't we cap capitation at about 40,000 Kenya shilling? And now this will ensure that each and every child has access to education without being levied. So from where I sit, giving the mandate of the NG-CDF, the NGAF, the counties, those bursaries should be taken away from them, taken back to the National Treasury, channeled through the Kenya National Education Fund, through the Minister of Education, so that we don't have monies going through so many different hands. Just like one senator said, I don't understand why government will give someone else money to take it to a government school. So as a principle of governance, in ensuring accountability and also equity and also fairness and also transparency, let us create one fund, a Kenya National Education Fund, and let us ensure the education of our Kenyan children, our Kenyan youth is free and compulsory, just as it's mandated by the Constitution.
Yes. Osido, you know, critics have argued that this aspect of corruption and political patronage when it comes to NG-CDF, and saying that this fund should be elevated or left to devolved structures to take over. Should that be the only reason? that we have political patronage, because it has been argued that MPs have used NG-CDF for political mileage.
That is correct. And that is partly why I raised some of the examples in the question as to why it is the members of Parliament, National Assembly, who have to preside over these bursary issuance functions. And it's normally a big thing, you know. And it is largely because of the political question again. It is used as a scheme to mobilize votes.
Yes.
And for members of National Assembly who probably are not interested in the politics, they would rather not be really engaged. So they allow their committees to do their work. And remember that a lot of times you also have the the CDF committees have subcommittees. So that you, for example, have now in the case of education, a committee that presided over education issues, and part of those become bursaries. For some constituencies, they even have to consult with the members of Parliament whether the people who have applied are worth being given the bursaries. And then the main issue they are seeking to find out is the political correctedness. So that you are not fought as a chair or as a chair of the committee or as a chair of the subcommittee for having given people who did not vote for you. How they know that you didn't vote for them or not, I think is another question.
Yeah.
But the biggest concern again comes up in terms of Schedule 4. Because remember that there is only an aspect of this, that of education, that is devolved, and that is ECD. So you have higher education and tertiary education still left at the national government level, which therefore raises the question around the remodeling of how we are going to ensure that the huge sums of monies that go to constituencies through CDF are actually meeting the objective. And also, it must not escape our minds that in the budget 2025-2026, I think among the top three is education as a sector. In fact, education is the highest beneficiary at almost over 750 plus billion Kenya shillings. And if you imagine some statistics that I have here, that it is required by law that at least 35% of annual NG-CDF allocations go for education and education support and bursaries, which means that almost 40 to 50% of what each constituency receives actually goes to education. It is a huge amount of money. So what therefore that means is that if you look at the budget 2024-2025 and put it, juxtapose it with 2025-2026, the allocation of CDF at 51.8 billion, just for CDF out of 700 billion, it means that we are having almost 18 to 20 billion going specifically for bursaries. Assuming the conversation around counties is brought on board. And Mr. Chair says that most Kenyans said the only thing they can be able to see in terms of development projects at the county level are CDF-related projects. And you know that, of course, I cannot agree with him because I'm a defender of devolution, but that's not the issue. That we will discuss as we walk out of this studio. The biggest concern is amalgamating all these resources so that we look at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is a transient picture. It goes beyond the politics. Because sometimes you want to ask yourself, so you say you are an MP for over 20 years. You've been a member of Parliament for 20 years. And 20 years you've been presiding over more than almost, 50 million for, at the constituency level. So let's take the minimum of 50 million shillings per year on CDF, because averagely per constituency they get around 170 million. So even if you were to say 70 million or even half of 170, just specifically for bursaries, isn't it therefore a big concern for us to look at, one, the development indicators of this particular constituency? Number one. Number two, what is the kind of engagement that is happening between national, county, so tertiaries, education and higher education, and county government functions of education? Because even at the county level, we have governors also presiding over bursaries, And you ask yourself, Is it a duplicity, like he said? Are we focusing on the right issues, or is it a political concern that we are seeking to cure? So even as we seek to amend the Article 204 to entrench all these funds into the Constitution, again, as I said, and I think I keep validating myself even as I speak and listen to myself, the biggest concern is the political discussion. Because somebody somewhere said, at a function we were attending yesterday for induction of Board of Management for certain schools, the induction process, that, you know, we need to create a framework within the Ministry of Education to preside over all these bursary funds that are given to CDF. Now, it already introduces another thought around having a Ministry of Education now to preside over certain specific aspects of NG-CDF, particularly on bursaries and also the resources that support tertiary institutions and also higher education. How that works, Migwi, still takes us back to the role of the Member of Parliament, which in my view is a conflict of interest issue they are trying to cure through the Constitution. But if you were to imagine the amount of resources, the funds that are going to counties through the National Government Constituency Development Fund, as opposed to what county governments receive, there are county governments that do not receive up to the total sum of what 2013 to 2024, 2025 CDF alone on budget. The budget for CDF in education alone for bursaries. There are counties that have not received that kind of money since devolution began. And if you look at now a total sum of, say, equitable share and also equalization fund, counties like Lamu, you ask yourself, when will they get to those kind of levels? You go, and if you come to Nairobi here, for example, where we are talking about almost 24 billion annual share of budget against on-source revenue among several others. Isn't it something that we should be able to be seen, especially looking at development against all the indicators that relate, particularly based on the investment that we put on just one angle, one aspect of what NG-CDF is, which is bursaries? So it's a big question that I think the people who sit around looking at the amendment of the Constitution, and especially vitu kwa ground, as Kenyans say, have to really emphasize beyond the political question of like public participation, what are Kenyans saying, but what is the aspect of the bigger picture? What exactly are we investing in? Which brings me to the final thing. When we talk about this thing of right to education, and we are saying it is basic, it is free, it is this, it is that, what is the cost of a child, you know? The cost of educating a child from ECD, pre-play, playgroup, PP1, PP2, all the way to maybe PhD in Kenya. What is that cost against the investments now that we have seen in terms of resources, financial resources, from 2013, when we began, say 2014, up to 2025, insofar as bursaries and NG-CDF is concerned?
Yes, indeed. And this conversation also, the former Prime Minister has waded into it, and he's very adamant when it comes to his position on CDF. And Patrick, he is strongly opposed in leaving the NG-CDF to the members of Parliament, and actually saying that it should be scrapped because he says it interferes with the oversight role of the role of parliamentarians. What do you think of this? And if it is to be retained, granted, should it be elevated to the county level?
Maybe let me reiterate this point and say the CDF fund is functioning and is serving the purpose of the ground. Because the citizens, they can speak for themselves and they say, yes, we can feel this money is working on the ground. We can see projects. You can see classes being constructed. You can see police stations being constructed. I think the challenge, as my colleagues had alluded, is the issue to do with how to make these funds operational with the minimal cost and also fight corruption. We need to agree, in 2024-2025, the government released 387 billion shillings to county levels. There is 22%, 22.5% increment this current financial year, money going to the counties. And I can tell you that with this money, we can educate our children if it's properly appropriated as per the budget. The challenge that is coming, and I can hear my friend here, is conflict of interest. If an MP is supposed to legislate, oversight, and represent, there is nowhere he's supposed to come and administer this kind of funds on the ground. So we must be very candid. One, we must defend the citizens. Because these are people who are innocent. These people, they do not make laws. These people do not legislate. We are the people that go to the parliament. We are the people that speak on their behalf. Unless when you carry a constitutional amendment like the one that has been proposed. And for us to be fair to these people is when they give us an opportunity to represent them, let's do it fairly, free, and in an open manner. Because why would we create duplicated funds that are going to the same people? One, we lose money because every fund has got some minimal operational cost or cost to make it operational. You find devolution, there's huge salaries to be paid. When you go to CDF, there's also some salaries to be paid, although it's minimal. So what we are saying is, can we reduce this operational cost by consolidating these monies that go to the citizens? If we are not going to make sure this CDF is properly administered, then we must make sure the devolution is working. And to cure the problems of our people down on the ground is to make sure devolution is working. And I tend to disagree with the call to reduce even the counties from 47 to reduce the numbers. Because one, there are some regions today when you go, you realize that there's serious development taking place. They are creating employment, and they have been marginalized for so many years. You would imagine when you go to Madeira today, you go to Anjia today, the development that you see on the ground, the empowerment that you see on the ground, the employment that has been created on the ground. So what we are calling is, can we now entrench the culture of fighting corruption? And that's why the government said we are going to introduce e-procurement in our system so that now we can reduce the cost of procuring our goods and the services. The little resource that we give to our people, it is well administered with the minimal corruption and with the minimal losses. And we can see the good spirit of the current government, because an increment of money that's going to the counties from 387 billion to 474 billion, that's, my friend, I can tell you, it's a good spirit to show that the government really wants the devolution to work. So our members of parliament, our senators, the people that are legislating on our behalf should now come into and help the government, ensuring that the laws that are proposing are for the people, are for the people, to serve the interest of our communities down there, and not the interest of a few people that sit in the parliament or sit in the Senate. And that's what I'm calling. I'm not saying the CDF should be scrapped, no. What I'm saying is, can it be properly administered? Can it be properly entrenched in our law, especially in our constitution? So that now we get to know what is the function of CDF. And is it playing a role that can be played by the devolution or the man that's coming through the governor's office? These are the challenges that we are looking to. Also need to look at this Senate Oversight Fund. What is the role? What are the added advantages going to play to help the citizen of Kenya? GAF, what is the role? What is the responsibility? We need to ask ourselves at the leaders this level these questions. We must be true to ourselves, and we must be people that now are speaking on behalf of the people. If we can entrench this law into constitution, if we can make sure the CDF is properly entrenched in the constitution, we make sure it's properly operational, and we reduce on the losses that are taking place, then I can tell you, Kenyans will feel the development of the ground. Because that is the challenge. They're saying the money is going to the county's level, but we are not seeing what it's doing, because it's just paying the recurrent expenditures. But now CDF is going direct to the people. So what we are saying is, can we now finalize on this process of constitutional amendment, make sure it is properly entrenched in the law, and then, as my professor, my friend, has just said, can we make sure it is operational? Can we make sure it is serving its intended purposes? And these are all the issues. Once we get these monies entrenched in the law, then they remain with one issue and one challenge: to make it operational. And if we make these monies operational, then we'll solve the challenges of our people. They get the education, they get development on the ground, and we'll see the lives of the Kenyans improving.
Of course, the issues of accountability also will have to be addressed, and that is something we are going to talk about next after this short break. Stay with us.
For one unforgettable month, football brought us together, and KBC was right at the heart of the action.
Kenya lead!
This journey was made possible because of you, our incredible partners, advertisers, and sponsors.
Full time, and Kenya have done the unthinkable.
You trusted KBC to deliver the passion, the energy, and the thrill of CHAN 2024 to millions of fans across Kenya and the region. From all of us at KBC, we say thank you for walking this winning journey with us. KBC, your true sports partner.
Greetings in the name of the Most High Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
Wiki hii kwenye Mkulima tumejifunza jinsi ya kumfuga mbuzi wa kisasa wa maziwa na kisha jinsi ya kuhifadhi maziwa yake.
Ni biashara kama ingine. Ya pili, it's passion. Napenda ukulima, that's why. Ya tatu, after doing much research about goat milk, that's what motivated me more.
Ungana nasi Jumamosi saa 10:30 kwa mseto kamili wa kilimo hapa KBC Channel 1.
If you're just joining us, you're watching Good Morning Kenya. This is The Viewpoint. My name is Mike. We are talking about the future of NG-CDF. And now, Prof, let's say, for instance, it gets its anchor in law. What measures should be there to ensure accountability and that this fund, now that it's anchored in law, it serves the purpose for which it was instituted?
Thank you, Migwi. You know, our constitution is very loud when it comes to issues of governance. Remember, we have the chapter 6 on leadership and integrity.
Yes.
And then if we succeed in entrenching, you know, the new NG-CDF, because that is what they are calling it, National Government Constituencies Fund, they have taken away the word development.
Yes.
It's important, the Act of Parliament that will come up with to operationalize this fund should be explicit in terms of who does what are the roles of the members of Parliament, because the biggest problem has been that as much as members of parliament want to say that they are not involved in the administration of this fund, actually most of our members of parliament, most of our legislators, most of the time, they have taken the main duty of making sure that they administer the NG-CDF as their main role or their main function. Because all the time we see members of parliament on ground issuing bursary checks, doing this and that, of which that is not their role. Their role is purely oversight. So when if we succeed in entrenching the NG-CDF in the Constitution, we have to make sure that the policies we come up with, the laws we come up with, the processes we come up with, and the procedures are above board, so that we can have separation of powers. Members of parliament can do oversight as legislators, and also avoid waste. Because Migwi, I think just the other day we have seen members of a constituency suing their local MP because he has gone to build another school next to an existing school. You know, and that is pure corruption, because that what means is that someone is being given a contract to build a school that is not really needed. And if you go on ground, I believe we need to be very careful in how we utilize our resources, because in Kenya, as much as we may say we don't have enough resources, we have a lot of waste in terms of the things we do. Because, for example, now you can go, for example, in a constituency, and you find a school with about maybe 100 students. Then you just walk down maybe 5 kilometers and you find another school with 50 students. What if we combine these resources to ensure that, you know, instead of having too many schools with very few students, and of course, you know, putting into consideration the aspect of access to education. But it's important, even when we entrench NG-CDF, we make sure that it is in tandem with the other agencies of the government, ministries of the government, so that we don't duplicate the roles. And then especially the issue of the bursary. Let us create a Kenyan National Education Fund. Let us take away the issue of giving MPs bursaries so that they can be able to distribute to students, because number one, a lot of resources go into wastage, you know, during that process. So it's important for the national government to create a mechanism where all monies that are meant for education go through one fund, just like we have HELP. You know, like when a student is going to university and they apply to HELP, then money goes straight to the institution, and the upkeep money goes straight to the student. So let us not, and at the end of the day, you find that these bursaries sometimes are given with favoritism, who supports me, who does not support me. But you see, someone who is administering the fund at the national level will know that there is a child in a certain school, let's say like Kisukoni, where I went to primary school. Okay, they will know that there is that child with this NEMIS registration number, and they will channel that money to that particular institution without giving powers to other people who are going to begin to, you know, weigh whether Joseph deserves to really be given a bursary. And the same thing with counties. The national, the county governments do not have a role in tertiary or secondary education. But you see, they take the resources they get, and then they begin to allocate to secondary education as bursaries, and also to colleges and universities, of which that is not their role. So these monies should be agglomerated, consolidated, and we put those monies into good use. And then we let, if it is the county governments or if it is the MPs, this fund, we need to single out the kind of projects and the kind of developments that they should be able to carry, so that we don't, you know, we don't entrench this fund in the Constitution, and then it becomes to contradict other articles of the Constitution, or it begins to undermine the spirit and the principles of the Constitution 2010.
Yes. Osido, when it comes to governance structure of this CDF, who should be put in charge of it? Rather, should MPs be in charge of a development fund?
Members of Parliament do not engage in development. The only level or point at which they do that, in my view, are at 3 levels. One is a representation level, that at least there is a development project being undertaken, and your involvement at that point is either to consult so that you exercise your appropriation role. So basically in the budget process, that there are finances or a budget has been put in place to be able to ensure that that development project takes place. The second level is at the oversight level, where of course you can ask questions that, the national government, Ministry of XYZ is constructing an X project somewhere. What is the status? Why, how come there is, for example, no environmental impact assessment? Who are the stakeholders? And these are questions which you raise both at the point of the development, basically qua ground, and also in Bunge. You can go and raise a question upon which, therefore, the minister the cabinet secretary can be summoned to explain what is going on. And we have seen those kind of progressive conversations going on. But to the level where you are the person who wants to make decisions on how that is happening, that I think is ultra-vires. You're going beyond your powers, which you have not been given, because the Constitution has given you very clear roles that you are supposed to be able to do. And that is why I agree with Bwana Nzioki that once, and in my view, I don't think it's a matter of if it goes through. It is just a matter of when. Yeah. Because the kind of politics that have already been played there, it's going to safeguard the entrenchment of these funds into the Constitution. Yes. And sometimes, I like saying whether Kenyans like it or not. You will go to court, you will do everything you want to do, but ultimately the political goodwill, especially with Kenya Kwanza government, if the president likes it, chances that it will not happen, even when you get to the courts, are very slim. So when that happens, we must therefore attempt to cure the kind of questions that we are raising here and that have been raised elsewhere around who does what. So allocation of roles, particularly with Schedule 4 functions, in terms of what NG-CDF is supposed to do, and then also who does what. Because if you go to the constituencies, we've seen that we have committees, the CDF committees. So how do we bolster that? And what is the level of engagement between that committee and counties? In fact, Mike, this reminds me of something I experienced on 28th of August. I think that should be last week, when I went into a police station and outside it looks very nice, but inside it looks like it is a deserted place, because the wall has been properly done, it's properly painted. So I walked in and I asked who is in charge here. I was taken to the OCS. I went and met the OCPD. And then I did a letter to the MP of that area, and I copied the CDF manager, I copied Minister of Interior, and I copied some relevant people that I thought needed to respond to the issue. But then as my friend and I were walking out of this particular police station, there is at the gate a sewer had burst, and it was creating such a huge menace. So I made a phone call to one of my friends, Dr. Quinta from Nairobi County, and I said, but this thing is happening. Who is this person who should be in charge? Yes. Of course, I tried calling the chief officer, my good friend who has been everywhere trying to respond to some issues. He didn't pick. But within an hour, when I spoke to the Director of Environmental Health, this is a county government intervening into a national government infrastructure. And within an hour, the Kanjo people had arrived there, they had cleared this sewer thing, and they were even sending videos to my WhatsApp and saying, yeah, Mheshimiwa, this thing is done. I don't know whether he called me Mheshimiwa. I'm just Kevin Osido. This thing is done, and now you can go and tell the OCS. When I called the OCS and the OCPD, they were actually on the ground and saying, thank you so much. We didn't even know how to address this issue. And that tells you the magnitude of what we can be able to do when we work together. So that regardless of the angle that CDF takes, NG-CDF takes, this thing is here for the people. The monies are neither for parliamentarians, nor are they for whoever thinks that we are the ones pushing for it, so you have to pay credit. No. These are resources that are going to the people. So the second thing, in my view, that we must be able to do upon underscoring who will be able to do what insofar as Schedule 4 is concerned, is to also underscore how do we work together as both county and national government players within this particular spectrum of the context where Kenyans call vitu kwa ground. And then the last thing, in my view, is to take note of the governance structure. And of course, once we've identified who does what, is also to aim to respond to some of the questions raised by the Controller of Budget and the Auditor General, which is largely why the evidence that went to the court did not favor CDF, because they were saying in some constituencies, there are no records. No audit reports, no minutes of committees to approve plans. We cannot see cash books. There are no bank statements. Those are things that should not be happening, especially when we talk about transparency and accountability. So the concerns and questions also that have been raised by the Controller of Budget and the Auditor General through their reports, I think those are some of the lessons that we must be able to learn in terms of strengthening certain weaknesses.
All right, gentlemen, I want us to close this discussion with the way forward. And I'll take that as your closing remarks. What do you think should be the way forward in this whole debate regarding NG-CDF? And what do you think is the future of NG-CDF?
Thank you very much. Let me say that in Kenya, we don't seem to be having serious challenge of resources. The challenge that we are now facing as a nation is governance issues, leadership and governance issues. And we can see it very clearly if we got so many kids that are funding the bursaries for our children. If we can consolidate these kids or kitties, we can come with one fund that will be able to cater all the education needs of our children. And that is my call. If today, Migui, I'll be given a chance to sit in a national parliament, one of the amendments that I'll bring or propose to be added among the 3 funds that have been created is to create a national education fund that will consolidate all those bursaries from MCA and governor's office to parliament or CDF to even the president's office. We consolidated to make it one fund. Number 2, I'd also cause a commission to be formed or kind of a body that will look into the cost of education per child in Kenya. Because for us to consolidate these funds, we must be informed by something. We need to do an analysis. What would cost a Kenyan government to educate one kid from nursery school to university? And then we ensure that education is free for everyone. That is my call. Then we can leave the CDF, we can leave the other bursaries or the other monies to be administered as per the constitution. But let us address the issue of governance. That's where the challenge is.
Osido.
Mine is a call to the people of Kenya. Thank you for exercising accountability. We are doing very well, despite some of the challenges like abductions and many things that we continue to experience. But the most important thing in my view is what kind of legacy are you leaving? Today we are talking about NG-CDF and the kind of reforms that need to take place, whether to scrap, whether to retain or to overhaul. But the question that begs is, depending on what angle it takes, what is your space in holding the leadership accountable? Whoever will be in charge of this particular fund, what is your space in making your voice count insofar as prioritization and allocation of funds, and then ultimately holding the leadership to account? You have a role to play. We can do the talking here, but the action is with you wherever you are. God bless you.
Indeed. Prof.
Thank you, Migui. I believe the future of NG-CDF lies in the entrenchment of, in the Constitution, and then making the relevant laws thereof. And then after that, addressing the leadership and governance issue. We have to take very serious issues of accountability, issues of being good stewards, because as matters stand right now, we have a lot of waste within our respective, governance structures, be it in the county, be it in the national government, and also in the current NG-CDF. So we should take it to our stride. NG-CDF has played a very critical role in terms of socio-economic development, and if we are going to succeed in getting the NG-CDF, we have to ensure that the resources allocated to that particular fund work for the people. And then we address the issue of separation of powers. We have to ensure that members of parliament just exercise their exclusive roles of representation, oversight and legislation, and then let technocrats, let people who are responsible in administering the fund carry out their work to the satisfaction of Kenyans.
Indeed. Gentlemen, your time is very much appreciated here on Good Morning Kenya. That is Professor Nzioki Joseph, who is a leadership and governance expert, Patrick Musili Bangula, who is a governance expert and chairperson of the Kenya Water Institute, and Kevin Osido, who is the executive director, County Governance Watch. This is where this conversation ends, but don't go too far. I'll be back with yet another conversation about accelerating e-mobility in the country. Stay with us.
Hana karo ya shule.
Maskini ni kitu mbaya sana. Waishia tu kampo, ukule mbuku kabisa.
Graduate. Utabaki papa hapa.
Kama kuna kitu yao mlichukua, simrudishe tu tafadhali.
Haiwezekani.
Nini mnapigania?
Shamba.
Unafanya nini hapa? Hii ni shamba ya babangu. Shida yako iko wapi?
Alinivamia akiwa na vijana wengine wawili.
Ni kweli ama si kweli?
The world of governance is vast and can be alien to the ordinary man on the street.
Critical issues are going to be discussed.
From white papers to policy positions, it is easier to get lost in the labyrinth of words.
Inside Government takes you to key global metropolis where critical decisions are made and where policies are crafted.
We interview policymakers and senior government officials to highlight and enumerate government policies and projects. We take a deep dive into the underbelly of complex red tape to demystify policies across the country, across the world. Join me, O'Brien Kimani, on Inside Government, only on KBC Channel 1.
Nambono nangengania bwana ya mwenye na nilimwambia wewe am actually married.
So what
to 5 breathing wives.
Kazi ya ujasusi ni kazi ambao inakutambulisha ujue ule mtu mahali yako na vile ako mpaka jina.
Can you tell this honorable court what is the name of that person? Because your honor, money has been poured. Mbona sijakotoa ngozi niuse na pia inatengeneza bags.
Mheshimiwa kweli.
Sasa mimi unaniuliza, si wewe ndio unauliza?
Kwani mimi ni mnyama mheshimiwa?
Between me and you.
Wewe
ulipewa ngapi ndio nimalize? I can double or triple.
Wewe sikiza, hatuko hapa mambo. Tena uone haya mbele ya koti unataka
hata siwe naongea na wewe.
Na wewe pia mimi ndio naamrisha hii koti.
Welcome back. Let's shift gears and talk about accelerating e-mobility. And this is the subtopic here is gateway to carbon reduction through alternative power. And joining me for that conversation is Mr. Peter Kihara from the Teachers Transport Limited. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well.
Yes.
And you?
Me, I'm good.
Very good.
Unaona kazi tu.
Yes. That's very good.
You know, transport is one of the largest contributors to carbon emissions.
Yes.
In Kenya and Africa, vehicles are powered by fossil fuels.
Yes.
But now we are talking about e-mobility. First of all, and for anyone who is hearing this for the first time, what is e-mobility?
Very good. Actually, e-mobility is now the opposite of the carbon emission.
Yes.
It is whereby we are using alternative energy to make the e-mobility a success. That include whereby we are going to use the alternative energy from the solar, from the geothermal, from now electric technology, which we are using now, and which is accelerating, especially in third world countries. And I believe even in Kenya, we are going to do it well.
Yes. The issue of carbon emission has been the talk for a long time. Why do you think as at now, we're in 2025, it matters to the country and Africa at large?
2025. In fact, we are late because I happened to visit China and I found they are far much ahead of us. I don't know why we were left behind because you'll find that especially on the two-wheelers and three-wheelers, they are 95% on e-mobility. Whereas here in Kenya, I found that data statistics indicate that we are only up to 5%, which means that we have a long journey to go. And it is a combination of effort from all sectors that we align ourselves to the new world through this new technology. The e-mobility is exactly what is going to make us have a better life in relation to the environment, in relation to saving money, and this is where we are supposed to be in 2025. Moving forward.
Yes.
Yes.
You see, you walk around in Nairobi and you see there are a few electric vehicles. You're talking about public transport, buses, and even small vehicles. How do you think, how would you rate the uptick of electric vehicles within the country?
We have a long way to go because the uptick, especially with Africa, we tend to relax a bit. We don't want to start by accepting the new technologies. You'll find that even in many ways, in many areas, especially when we were also using the manual cars, we tended to refuse to accept. So the uptake sometimes is low, but with a lot of assistance from various sectors in the government. I am sure Kenyans are good people when they adapt, they accept any new facility that come on their way. And I would urge Kenyans now, because we can see it is coming up, it is catching up in Nairobi. We need to know the advantages of this e-mobility so that we accept it because it is beneficial to all of us. The business people, it is beneficial because, especially now, if we give an example of the border sector, whereby they use about 1,000 on fuel. When you go to e-mobility, you are only going to charge at your home at only 50 shillings to translate to 150 kilometers. And if you compare using 1,000 and using 50 shillings on the same performance, you will understand the importance of you catching up with the e-mobility technology, because that translates that if you save 1,000 in a day, it translates that you are going to save 30,000 in a month, which translates you can save 360,000 in 1 year. That's actually good money. And any person who is saying the economy is not very good to them, it is only that we refuse to do things differently. We should accept that changes. The technology, we cannot avoid it. We have to embrace it and catch up with it because it is going to be beneficial and make us have a better life.
In line with the Paris Agreement, the decarbonization of transport must meet the 1.5 degrees of degrees threshold. Do you think this is achievable?
Definitely, it is. It is achievable, but we have a long way, especially in Africa, because I don't know whether it is our policies that hinder us or it is our level of understanding. But that is where we are supposed to be by the next 5 years, because if we don't take care of the environment, it is going to affect all of us, including the generation to come, including the plants, the environment, the animals.
Yes.
All of us are not going to have a better life. But when we embrace it to go to the global standard, then we benefit all of us. It is our obligation as the shareholders in this world to make sure that we participate in it and make this one a reality. Sure.
When you say the level of understanding, do you think whose responsibility is it to make people know about these things when it comes especially to matters of electric vehicles and their benefits to the environment? Whose responsibility do you think it is to make sure there's enough information about that?
Sure. That is the hindrance. People perish because of lack of knowledge. And it is the responsibility for any government to make sure that any new development aligned to the community is taken an effort from the government to make sure that the citizen also understand about this. This is an important phenomenon whereby if I were to be asked, I could say that we start teaching it from the ground, from the basis even to the primary level, whereby every person must understand that it is a combination of responsibility from the government, from the business people, and from every person who is under this universe, that the new technology, especially on green energy, is whereby all of us are going to benefit from it, because this carbon emission, it is where it translates to the ozone layer, which affect the temperatures. And it is known, and we have to agree to it, that we must participate in it. It is my duty also to teach my people. It is your role also, my brother, to make sure that we combine ourselves to make this environment better for all of us, so that we avoid such calamities in diseases. We understand that without a clean environment, you are also prone to various diseases. So the clean air that we need, all of us, to have a better life, it is our obligation, starting from the government present, to make sure that we, the citizen, adapt to it, especially when we come to import these e-mobility vehicles, the lithium batteries. You find that we are also still under heavy tax. It is the duty of the Ministry of Transport and the related ministries to make it easy, to ease it so that we adapt it, and then we catch with the whole world. We are not supposed to be left behind.
Yes.
We are supposed to catch up, because it is amazing when others are at 95%, we are only 5%. So we have a long way to go, but there is hope that is achievable.
Yes. Sure. Well, let's look at the issue of urbanization and the whole idea of accelerating e-mobility. By 2060, it is projected that, by 2050, it's projected that 60% of the population, especially within the African continent, will have moved or will be residing in urban areas. And this goes hand in hand with congestion in terms of traffic. And now this is when we are using internal combustion engine, or the ICE, if you would. So can e-mobility alone solve issues to do with congestion, and how can it positively impact the greenhouse gas emissions?
Yes, urbanization is what is there in the coming future. People want better life, and all of us trust that in urban areas is whereby we get what we need, and that indicates that when we have these high populated areas in the urban areas, it is where we expect to have a lot of carbon emissions. And it is these areas whereby we need now to translate and make sure that we embrace the new technology on e-mobility. The big buses, the tuk-tuk, the two-wheeler, that is the boda. We embrace it, especially on the urban areas, because the planners, they are also supposed to understand about this. How are we going to embrace it, all of us? Because when we don't do it, you will find that life in urban areas is going to be terrible in the near future.
Yes.
But when we embrace this e-mobility technology, we'll understand that life will be also better as compared to other cities that has also developed. So we have a better role, we have a responsibility that we make this a reality. So it is like the use of mobile phones. We thought that it is a miracle. I once visited our neighboring country, Uganda.
Yes.
I found every person with a gadget, whereby Kenyans, we were still behind. But I like it because Kenyans are good people. They can do it very fast. Like today, we don't have now the kababes. People are on smartphones.
Yes.
So we just need to understand what is this e-mobility. And I'm insisting here that there are so many benefits because I've tested it myself. I've seen developed a world. How better life is there. How they are beautifully not using their money, especially on transport. Because transport and feeding the nation is expensive. And when a country like ours now embrace the new technology, we are going to lower the cost of importing the fuel. We are going to lower it to the zero. And that money will go straight to our development. So we should not cry for that there is no money. Money is in plenty. It is only that we must know how to embrace the formula to get it.
Yes.
And one of the formula is when you use e-mobility,
yes,
you get money to you and it back to your pocket.
So there's economic advantage to embracing e-mobility.
Sure, definitely.
Now let's look at infrastructural capacity that we have as a country. Do you think we have enough infrastructure to embrace e-mobility? And if not, what gaps must we address to make e-mobility practical for majority of the Kenyan citizen?
Infrastructure is another area that needs a lot of concentration. And I believe that we are starting somewhere. We are moving toward this great important agenda of e-mobility, whereby you'll find that there are areas that we need to adhere to, especially on the charging station. That this charging station is whereby it is infrastructures that is not in place. We have many filling stations. When you go to these areas, the countries that are developed, you will find that they have numerous infrastructure on charging point. Charging point will go hand to hand. For example, if we want to use a e-mobility vehicle from Nairobi to Mombasa, we need to have infrastructures on the way, on the highway, whereby at a certain kilometers, you need to recharge your vehicle so that it translates to the mileage that you wanted to use. So this one need also to move in hand in hand with incorporations of these e-mobility vehicles. Therefore, the government has got a lot of responsibility to make sure that it is the constructions, the importations of these e-mobility materials. Definitely, they are available, they are there. It is only that when you need to bring them to us, there are a lot of hindrances on the way, whereby I understand the ministry that is concerned is going to take the responsibility and make it a reality to Kenyans, so that Kenyans also benefit and have the economic value of this new technology.
There's also the aspect of sustainability and environmental risk. You know, we are talking about using batteries for bodas and the rest of EVs. You know, they are the heart of e-mobility. But when it comes to disposal, how do we ensure that there's safe disposal and recycling, so that we do not replace environmental problem with another, especially when it comes to disposing of these batteries?
Sure, brother. This is waste management. And with new technology, I'm feeling that it is not going to be a big challenge, because when you use a lithium battery, it can give you a range from up to 10 years using one particular battery that is made of lithium. The other batteries that we used had got a lot of calamities. But when you come to the new technology, we are better off on waste management, because if you use one battery and it take you to 10 years, then it means after 10 years, new development will be realized. It is like the mobile phones. They are also using these lithium batteries. And we are managing, you know, we are millions of people with mobile phones, as compared to what we are going to have in e-mobility, especially in big vehicles. They have a battery that is going to take a long time to use it. So there is no waste management. But when it comes to that, there is this proper way of recycling it, and you do it once again. So that is an advantage. It is not like using the ICE vehicles, whereby you have many the parts of the engines. The e-mobility, this new technology has got a simpler mechanism, whereby you don't have a lot of waste. It is always practical, it is always in use. And that makes us that when you have a vehicle that will take you 20 years in use, then it means it is well taken care of, and you don't have a lot of emission, you don't have a lot of waste, and the minimum that it is there, it is cycled back with this technician who knows how to handle it. That is a better part, especially when we come to manage the waste management.
Yes.
Sure.
There's also the issue of policy.
Yes.
What do you think the government needs to do in terms of incentivizing people to fast-track the adoption of electric vehicles? Are there policies or incentives that the government should put in place to ensure that there's a higher uptake of electric vehicle or the e-mobility aspect?
Sure. That is the way to go. I wish these our assembly members of assembly who make these policies, they have been going to third world countries for benchmarking. I wish they could realize how it is going to be beautiful in Kenya when they relax and make this business a reality, so that every person who is outside there is going to be able to participate on this, because the tariffs are still very, very high. If the parliament understand the importance of this, which I know they does, we put it in practical. We put it in practice, because when you benchmark, you'll see the developed countries, how well they are managing this, how well they are managing the economy using e-mobility in transport especially. The e-mobility or the green energy, it is in our ideology. But when we concentrate on these areas whereby we have these big machines using the diesel engine, the petrol engine, and a lot of the fuel product, it is a bit expensive and costly. But because it is the only things that we know, we must understand there is other things that are better when we embrace them and use them. I am a witness, and my people who are using our product, they can testify and say that it is a miracle for us to have a better life when you use this new technology, especially on e-mobility. The buses that we have here, I have seen several of them. They are coming up, they are catching up. You will find a bus that has been using that 1,000 Kenya shillings on fuel per day. It is only using less than 5,000 on the charging. So you save the 20,000 on this gasoline. Why not the government understand this? Sometimes they might feel that when we import this fuel, because there are a lot of taxes on it, that we might probably go down. No, we will never go down. We will catch up, we will go up. Because why do they tax? Because fuel is very expensive to import. And this importation take away our dollars, which means when we avoid it, all these monies will come back to our economy. It is going to be the money is going to be circulated within ourselves, and we will feel it in our pocket. It is not like today they are saying that the economy is doing well, but when you go back down to the ground, you will find many of us crying that the economy is bad. It is affecting all of us. But I'm telling them, I'm saying this, money is there, it is plenty. What we need to do is to change the behavior of doing the old way of doing things. We embrace the new technology, and it is wholly from the government down to the smallest business person. They are going to benefit from this.
In terms of cost, how does it compare to importing the electric vehicles as opposed to these that use fossil fuel? And how can we balance, if there's a disparity, how can we balance with the long-term savings that the e-mobility tends to promise?
Very good. These e-mobility vehicles are somehow expensive the initial cost is somehow high. But the returns is quite recommendable. It is important. For instance, if an ordinary motorcycle costs 200,000, and the e-mobility motorcycle costs 350,000, the reality is that this person on fuel motorcycle is going to use 1,000 per day on fuel.
Yes.
Which means he's going to use 30,000 on fuel cost per month. So in 1 year, he's going to use 360,000 plus his 200,000, which was the initial cost of the motorcycle. That is 1 year only. His bike is going to cost him 560. Whereas the one who used just 350 to buy an electric vehicle will have used only 100, that is 50 shillings in a month. That is how much? 50 shillings times 30 is 1,500.
Yes.
So this person is only going to have used 15,000 in a year. So in many years then, in 10 years time, because a motorcycle can go to 10 years, this gentleman is going to have used 3.6 million on fuel, while this other person is just going to have used less than 100,000. You can see the comparison is like heaven and earth. So the initial cost is there, yes. And I know the much we import them, the much we have, it is going to lower a little bit because the cost of the lithium is the major issue on e-mobility. But that is the engine of it. There is no other service that you are going to do to this vehicle.
Yes.
They are zero maintenance. They have minimum maintenance. Whereas the gasoline, which you feel that it is not expensive. It is expensive several times, many times.
Let's say for a person who would want to, let's say, get an electric motorcycle, how much are we looking at?
You see now, the economy is not very good at the moment, but we have areas whereby you can be paying lipa mdogo. And when you are given this formula, like us, we does it. We just ask you to come with that 1,000 Kenya shilling. We allow you to go and work because when you work, you are able to be giving this on daily service. So the money you use on fuel, you use that money now to buy this motorcycle for you. So how can we say it is expensive then? It is not expensive. It is like that you use only 30,000 to have this motorcycle of 350,000 in 2 years' time. And this motorcycle, it is guaranteed that it is going to take you to 10 years. At that time, I believe this person who is using this motorcycle will have grown economically to a richer person, because we said it is saving you 360,000 on fuel alone per year. It means in 10 years' time, you will have saved 3.6 million. Don't you think that is good money?
Well, they should be looking at it from the long-term point of view.
We are supposed to go to that. We must have a plan, and we need to have a strategy even to ourselves.
Okay.
Not to go and look for money, but have the ability to understand how the value of 1 shilling, how to save 1 shilling, and how to make a shilling. That will make you have a better life.
Yeah.
Because your energy, your time that you are using is going to be beneficial. It is going to translate that when you use this new technology, your life is going to be better. You will never wake up so early. You will find that a motorcycle that is using the fuel, he must carry 2 passengers or 3. But for the e-mobility, you need just to carry one because the money is coming to your pocket. But if this other person, the money is going to the fuel, the money is going to the owner, and the money he need also to feed his family. But if this one for e-mobility, you come to us, you will find that all monies go back to your home, to your family, so that this money, you will pay your school fees, you will build yourself a better house. This money that is going to other areas is supposed to come back to us.
Wouldn't a person who is using a battery be charged at a charging point?
Sure, you'll be charged, but it is not equivalent to what you use. I want to tell Kenyans that one battery with a range of 150 kilometers, you will be charged 200 shilling. 150 kilometers on fuel, you will use more than 1,000 Kenya shilling.
Yes.
All right? So 200 and 1,000 there. You can see we will have gone the same mileage, but I myself am using 200 Kenya shillings, or you are using 1,000 adafa. It is, in fact, you are going to use 5 liters or more on a motorcycle to 150 kilometers. But this gentleman will just change the battery at 200 shillings.
Okay.
You can see the difference.
Yeah.
And Kenyans are supposed to see this, so that tomorrow, all of them are supposed to come to us. We do it for them, so that we change their life to a better nation.
Yes.
Because when you have better people with better economy, then you have a better country.
Now, what would you say are the major challenges that are bringing about a roadblock into total adoption of electric vehicles within Kenya?
There are several challenges. Number one, you will say that Kenyans, sometimes I say, we take a long route to understand, to embrace a new technology, and we need to understand about it. Kenyans are supposed to understand that one. Number two, the teaching and the awareness on this new environment also need to be taken seriously.
Yes.
Number three, the cost of this product also need to be lowered, especially when the government lower the tariffs. It makes it affordable to many of us. Such challenges are the hindrance. So the availability of these, because we must import them, we must also lower the cost on the importation. And that one is possible. And the challenges that are there, they are those challenges that we can overcome because other countries are doing it well.
Okay.
It is only that our mentality, we must agree that it is not only at your home place that the food is best. We say in our mother tongue that if you don't go out, if you don't embrace a change, you will always remain at one point, just cheating your mind that there are no better green pastures. They are there. We just need to embrace the right people, to the right technology, so that we understand that life we make it better. And it is our responsibility, especially men, because sometimes we say men sometimes sleep and they don't want to change very fast. I'm urging Kenyans to agree that there is no shortage of money. It is us who are not really wanting to trust this the way of getting new things. So let's change from what we know to what we don't know. And eventually all of us are going to be better people.
Indeed.
Sure.
Thank you so much for making time to come here and talk about matters to do with accelerating e-mobility. That is Peter Kihara from the Teachers Transport Limited talking to us about that topic. This is where this conversation ends. Don't go too far. Vivian Degwa is up next with Women at the Forefront. My name is Mike. Maybe it's a bye-bye from me for now. Stay with us.
say the earth without art would just be, get it? We circumnavigate the globe and traverse the local scene to bring you art and culture at their very best. From fine art, culinary art, performing arts, and even cultural events, you name it, and we have got you covered. My name is Kevin Kasioki, and I will be serving you this and much, much more each and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
Please welcome to Remma Fest, Pastor Nathaniel Bassi. 4th and 5th of September, Uhuru Park, Nairobi.
Praise the Lord. My name is Pastor Tim Wangi, and I want to invite you for a life-changing, transformative show.
I was blinded and thrown to the floor on my knees, just like Saul.
Conversations. Gen Z ni nani? E-boldness mnatoa wapi?
Kuna mentality fulani yenye inakujenga, si a rebellion really, but ni ya ku-question system.
Engagements that are life-changing and provocative.
When you are young, your core business should be to create value in yourself.
Join me, DJ Andy C, bringing to you Kingdom Vibe, full of gospel bangers.
Join us for Angaza Show.
Every Saturday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Only on KBC Channel 1.
Zipora.
I cannot tolerate your attitude towards me.
You might as well kill me right now.
Watch your tongue, young woman.
Mimi kama nimemwaga unga.
Si atunga peke yake hata maji. Mwiko wenyewe chavunjika. Mahindi yenyewe hizi siagika. Kisaka sasa hizo ni?
Hizo ni sasa tunasema sasa.
And make sure that you have found where she is residing.
I'm not proud that Alex died. But it is what it is.
Have you killed her yet? Because her phone is not going through.
I've got absolutely no idea who you're talking about.
Thank you for staying with us right here on Good Morning Kenya. And right about now, we get into the Women at the Forefront segment. And you know that when it's a Wednesday, we get to bring you a woman right here on the show who's doing amazing, exemplary work in the field that they are in, just to be able to inspire the next generation of women. Today is no different. I have with me one Abigail Zuena. Abigail Zuena is the director of Finsco Africa, and she is also loud about youth and women advocacy. She's here to tell us about herself, her story, just to be able to inspire all of us, inspire us and allow us to get to understand that, yes, everything is possible when you put your mind to it. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Vivian.
It's a pleasure to have you on
here
board
today.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're welcome. Yeah. We're looking at breaking the glass ceiling today, you know, because that is exactly what you're doing, literally, because you're into the construction business, real estate.
Yes.
Now, if we can just begin first by getting to understand rather what Finsco Africa is all about.
All right, so my name is Abigail, like you've rightfully said. I am a young woman, I am a mother and a wife to one husband. I've always wanted to say that. And I have been in the real estate industry for a period of 7 years. I started quite young. I have worked my way from being an agent, literally passing out flyers on the roadside, because that's where everyone in real estate begins. You know, these people that you see when you guys are stuck in traffic, they're trying to pass you over some flyers and you're like, oh, you're disturbing me. That's where most of us start, because you really must go through the trenches of hard work for you to make it anywhere, even across any sector. So I started as an agent inside Finsco Africa. It's one of the biggest developers doing great projects in this country. Then I made a lot of sales. I was so proactive and hardworking. I was able to become a unit manager. That is when you manage a very small team of people. From a unit manager, I moved to a branch manager, and then from there now I was able to make a pitch for myself to sit in their board of directors. I'm very happy because our boss has really empowered women inside that company, and we are empowered so much so that you're also allowed to branch out, even as you still work within the ecosystem of Finsco Africa, to still do your own things and consultancy. So over and above being a director at Finsco Africa, I am also a real estate consultant, and I help women, young people, and generally the public to understand how do you invest in real estate. Because at this day and age, you just don't take money and buy land. You have to be strategic about how you invest. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck with an asset, and when you want some quick cash, a realtor cannot even dispose that land because you are not strategic enough and you didn't look at the factors that really matter before you invest in the real estate industry. So it's a matter of how you invest. It's not just a matter of putting money there, because an asset can actually be a liability instead of it generating income or wealth for you, depending on how you invested in the first place. So this space allows us to engage the public, educate Kenyans about our market and our industry, break down processes of property acquisition, be it land or housing, debunk any myths, talk about how people have been scammed and how to avoid being scammed, because I know our industry is very big on that. Very big on that. But just like any other industry, we can't lack a few rotten potatoes, but that doesn't make the whole industry bad, because real estate, we breathe, live real estate. Even here where we are at in this studio, somebody sat down, designed the building, there was an architect behind it, a QS, a structural engineer, and then people started constructing, and that is why we have KBC here. So real estate is everything, where we live. The roads that we go through, that's land, because for road to be, for infrastructure like road, electricity and water to be developed by government, there has to be land allocated on it. So real estate is whether you're renting or you own a house, when you go to a mall, that's commercial real estate. When you're going to your office, the same. So real estate is in every part of our ecosystem. And so we really can't escape investing in real estate. It's not a matter of when, it's not a matter of if, it's always a matter of when. And so we are always encouraging people to begin small. You don't need to have a lot of high capital intensive or have a lot of money in the bank to invest. There's so many structures and financial institutions and partnerships that allow both women and men and young people to invest in the real estate industry now, which has made it easier than what was there before.
Yeah, and I love that. We're going to get into that. I want us to go back to the point where you've literally worked your way up that ladder. You know, beginning as an agent. There's someone who's watching right now, and that's where they are right now. That's the position they're in, you know, just as agents and all that. And maybe they may be asking the question, how do you work your way up there? What type of grit do you need to have to get there? You know, do you need specific kind of values? Is it you're working smart, you're working hard? Nowadays they say you don't work hard, you work smart. So just how do you go up that ladder?
So in real estate, consistency is everything, and patience, a lot of patience, because you are going to market a product to somebody and asking for quite a lot of money. So you must have your information and data at your fingertips. You must understand how to structure the information that you want to give your clients. So you have to read far and wide, understand the processes of land acquisition and housing acquisition, understand the taxes that these investors are about to pay as they purchase this property that you're selling to them. You also have to understand how do you package yourself. Your image matters a lot. Even as an agent, when you're not still earning money or you've not even made the first commission, find that small budget look the part, because you can't go market a product worth millions and you're looking like a few coins short. So your image is everything. First appearances are always everything. Confidence, look at somebody right in the eye, talk to them like you know what you're selling. And the best advice I'd give agents or somebody starting out in the real estate industry is also start the journey of investing in real estate. It is so hard to sell something you don't own yourself. Because then it's like you're selling hot air. So you're telling them, you invest here, but have you done it yourself? So, and right now there's so many packages in real estate, rent to own packages. So they allow you to put a small deposit, enter a house, and then the rest you're paying to rent to eventually own that property. So when you begin investing as a real estate agent, it becomes very easy for you to sell these products into the market because you're part of that ecosystem and you know the value you've also acquired in investing in real estate. So patience, because it takes a while to convince someone. And consistency, not disturbing people, consistency. So I won't wake up every day and, Vivian, you told me you'll see the house. So I'll just...
There's a difference between consistency and disturbing
and disturbing, yes. I can call you and say, I have missed you, I just want to buy you coffee. That's another way of me getting you into the conversation. I'll take you for coffee in a space where, you know, you're easy and calm, and then I'll squeeze in the conversation of investment into the real estate industry, rather than always just sending a flyer in somebody's inboxes every day. They're going to block you because you're becoming a nuisance.
Yeah, you're spamming them.
You're spamming them. So you have to look at what strategies can I use to make this person engage in real estate. And in more cases than I can say for myself, I've closed a lot of sales in very easy environments, so not so serious ones. So in an easy conversation, after working hours, when somebody is comfortable, that is when the real deals are truly made. Yes. Yeah.
All right. I would love to get to understand what got you into this business. Like, what inspired you to get into this specific business?
Yes. I think for me, being a woman and a firstborn of 4 daughters, so we're just girls, growing up, and I know most of us can relate to this, in our homestead, or either our relatives, or aunties, or uncles, there were always these very side comments that used to trigger us as women. So you'd hear something like, unajua ukusi kwako. So when you hear such things, you get challenged as a woman. So like, what does this mean? So for me, I interrogated. So I'd sit down with my mom and I'd ask, when this is said, what does this mean? She'd be like, yo, no, huku ni kwa baba yenyu. And so that got me thinking, then what do I need to do as a woman to have an asset for myself that I'm never in any situation where such a statement can be hit at me? So that inspired me to be curious about the real estate industry. I was able to understand when somebody says, this is my home, it means the title deed bears their name. And so indeed they do have full ownership of that asset. And so as a woman, that is the most security that you can have. That is something that you secure for your children and the generations that are coming. And so for me, this became more of a legacy and a mission for me to ensure that so many women get to understand the importance of being part of the ownership documents, because that is the final way to secure yourself, ensure you're safe, ensure that you have secured something for your kids, ensure that you, in any situation that you're in, you can always be strong enough to know and be accountable to yourself to know that this is also my home, and I have a right to this home, I have a right to this property, and I have a voice in this relationship or marriage or partnership and so forth. Yes, so I think that's just a very...
That's what got you into it.
Yes,
and it's quite a powerful one right there. Now, you know, speaking about even what got you into the real estate business, there was a time in this country when women could not even own land. So times have changed. It's beautiful to see that now women can be able to buy land by themselves and own land. We were speaking behind the cameras and you were mentioning that younger women, mainly the millennials and Gen Zs, are really owning, you know, property out here. You've witnessed it, you know, as you're in the business. Can you tell me more about that? Like, is there, like, there's a I don't want to say a disconnect, but when it comes to the younger women and owning property compared to the older generation, you know, our mothers and whatnot.
Yeah. I think historically, because of the household we grew up in, and those comments that I was talking about, and the kind of things we saw our mothers, our aunties, our grandmothers go through, even in terms of inheritance, because culturally, women it was such a struggle for women to be, you know, to inherit property from their fathers. And so breaking these norms is such a key aspect and vision for the young women and men. So you're finding millennials and Gen Zs, because of the things that we saw at home, it became quite a mission for us that growing up, we must own assets. And so they come very boldly in our companies and they're like, it's me, I'm buying a loan. Even the married ones, inside marriage, millennials will come and say, this is mine. In case my husband ever come here, don't tell them. And they don't do that to be malicious. It's because they are aware of how important it is for them to be property owners and to secure themselves and their children. Please remember, women, we're the legacy builders. We are the ones that save during a rainy day. We are the ones that come through for our family. These are lessons that we are taught by our mothers, our grandmothers, our aunties. They tell us, you must have a secret stash. And so what the younger woman is now doing, the secret stash is becoming invested in real estate because they understand how this asset can be wealth-generating assets for them and can secure them now and secure the children that they are about to bear or they are raising up. For older women, I think it was the culture and the patriarchy, that system that was there. And so they were brought up to be quiet and silent and not demand ownership documents. And that has changed. But I will celebrate what they went through, because it is what they went through that has made us be bold enough to buy this asset and own property in the real estate market. Yes.
I love that. I love that. Now, when it comes to investing and investing smartly, you know, as you were saying, some years back, or still some people still do this, when you get some money, you decide, let me just go buy land over there. They call it broti magota magota.
Yes.
You go for your broti magota magota. You know, you ensure you just have several plots, but you just bought land, but it's there. It's just lying there. So how do we invest differently now when you talk about investing in real estate? How do we get into it much smarter than just buying land that is just seated?
First and foremost, it's to just realize that our market will always be loud. So we'll always be up on your face. You enter social media, land, hey, Matu, 900, 4, you know, we are very enticing. We're marketers. So we get out there and we just want to grab your money and run. But there are things you should look at before investing. Don't go with the hype. Don't be carried away by the wave. We've seen the repercussion of making decisions because everybody else is doing. So there are things you look out to, like, one, this land that I'm buying, is there infrastructure that is supporting the appreciation value of this asset? So is there tarmac? Is there water? Is there electricity? Is it a controlled estate? And why do I say a controlled estate? Because controlled estate naturally ensures that your parcel of land appreciates, because people are going to come and construct there. There's a perimeter wall, there's a gate, there's their infrastructure like road. For example, what we've done at Finsco Africa, Thika Grove Chania, put up a big gate, a very secure perimeter wall, stone, tarmac inside, beacons, construction controls, meaning people have a timeline they need to have fulfilled in terms of constructing, so that you're not having a parcel of land. Somebody has constructed one area, then shamba, then nobody else is constructing. Those estates will not appreciate your asset. So looking at the infrastructure that is supporting the parcel of land is very important. So that you ensure that even if you are to sell 3 or 6 months down the line, your real estate consultant will sell it very fast, because the value is already there, and the perks and the features of that project are already defined. Other than a land at Matu, it's just bare, no neighbors. How do you sell that? Who is going to buy that? And people are becoming wiser now. And historically, we are a communal country. So remember, when we were growing up in the village, everybody took care of everyone. You would be punished by your neighbor when you misbehaved.
They are trying that.
But we have become so modernized now. But imagine you're going back there. So remember growing up, we would want to live in Runda because of the big house and the big walls. But now when you have children, they'll ask you, Mom, who will I play with? So that's how controlled estate are becoming very popular now, because they get to have a clubhouse, a swimming area for your kids, walking and jogging pads. So your kids get to grow in a community sort of like, but still you still have your privacy. So they get to know their neighbors, because at the end of the day, if you're a mother or you're in a family, you don't buy a home for yourself, you buy for your kids. And so the environment must support your children. And so when you look at these factors, you are able to now understand and pick the right project for you, and even just consult us realtors who are in this industry, because we will always advise you on which project to invest in, so that your money is creating more money for you, even if you have bought an asset that is just sitting there, but it is appreciating in value. Yes.
All right. Now, where to start when it comes to matters due diligence? Because as we mentioned at the beginning, the real estate business has gotten so many people getting duped. You know, so when it comes to matters due diligence, what are the right steps to follow?
I'm always saying this, and I know sometimes we can always want to water down the role of lawyers, but they are such key instrumental professionals in our space. Have a lawyer, and most of them are very affordable. Let them do the due diligence for you, because right now even our systems, and it's very sad sometimes, you hear title deeds papers are going missing. Some of the professionals that can help you to ensure that the due diligence is carried out very well are lawyers, valuers. Even when a company approaches you, ask for documents like a CR12, know who the directors are, know who owns that company, ask for an LR number. That, you know, ideally is what you use to search to see if the legitimacy of a title deed. Do a whole deep dive with your counsel. The best property are always those ones that are also charged by the bank, because the bank has done their due diligence. Any project that maybe has taken a loan with a financial institution, either a bank or a SACCO, very secure, because it means the title is with who? The financial institution, and those guys have done their due diligence. Actually, I love buying property that are charged, because I'm like, the bank already did the work for me. And I know most people would find that skeptical, but it's the easiest way to do a due diligence. Once you hear somebody has a charged document, you can be sure once the transaction will happen and the bank will be involved in that transaction, because ideally they'll be the one to transfer the title to you. So those are some of the ways that you can use, but also just relying on professionals and like lawyers and valuers to ensure that the due diligence is done very properly, because they do have a code of ethics, and they cannot lie to you. At the end of the day, that is a service they're providing for you, and their interest is to protect your interests. Yes.
Yeah, so ensure you at least have a lawyer.
Have a lawyer friend, you know, just buy them tea, coffee once a week, once a month, so that when you need a favor, they're not billing you so high. Yes.
All right, I want us to get back to us advocating for women to just take up space, because that's what the show is about. This particular segment is about. So, you know, one would say that real estate is male-dominated, right? So what would you say are some of the barriers that you've gotten to encounter along the way, and how are you able to overcome them?
Of course, the biggest one being, as a woman, anytime you enter any space that is male-dominated, advances will always be there. But you have to always remember to focus on what you envision to accomplish. Find a very, I call it, smart and intelligent way to coexist with these men, but not at the expense of who you are as a woman, because that will always be there. It actually, there's a way you can use it to your advantage to propel your ambition as a woman in real estate, because still the biggest people that buy property in real estate are still men, so you're still going to have to interact with them. I find most women shy away from that, and I say this because I've tried to bring as many women as I can into the real estate industry, even train them to be agents, train them to be customer relationship officers, because I'm an expert in CRM, and they shy away. They look, this guy was, I'm like, no, you could have just... So finding a way to coexist with the men, but not compromise yourself, is an art and skill that every woman should learn. And I think it is inborn in us. So we are women. There will always be men who want more than just what you're trying to offer or sell. And so how then do you navigate that and know that this is something that you will always face in this industry? Number two, of course, it's capital intensive as well. to be a real estate consultant or to be in the real estate industry, because it means you're moving around a lot, so you will need a car. Take that small loan. Go to your SACCO. I love SACCOs. Their loans are quite strategic. Go take that loan. Buy a car. You're safer in a car that you can drive as a woman, and especially if you're in real estate. Start small. You don't even need to take a very big. I'm happy we're learning about electric cars. And they're very affordable. Take that electric car, start moving around, because it makes your work easier. When a client calls you and you show up with a car, they'll be like, yes, you can sell me land or housing. But now you're showing up in an Uber or in a boda, you don't look so serious. And so that has discouraged many women, because they're like, how do I get a car? But they forget even our own country is running in debt. So debt is unavoidable. So just take a small loan, buy that car. It's going to be an asset. It's going to generate so many sales for you. The commission will eventually pay off that car loan, and you're even able to upgrade as you move forward. The third barrier, of course, is the fact that most women view this as a male-dominated industry. They shy away from it. So they're like, hey, I don't think I can make it. But I'm happy that more women are coming up into this space. We are having women CEOs in owning real estate companies. We have the CEO of Username is a whole woman. And so we are so inspired when we see women now owning real estate companies and spearheading in this industry and making key decisions. We are happy with the cabinet minister for physical planning land is a woman. In itself, that's real estate. So we are happy when you see women, breaking those barriers and spearheading this industry in a right direction, because ideally women are always the custodian of property, and so then who better to propel and engage in this industry than women themselves.
And even still in line with that, what is the importance of that representation? Being able to see there's that woman CEO, of this real estate company, or this woman CEO of this particular company in this industry. What's the importance of that representation for the young lady who's still coming up and watching?
Over and above being challenged that and being empowered to know that you can get there as a woman, it's the policies that they make to ensure it is easier for women to own property. For example, myself, it's very important for me, like on a yearly basis, I push our board of directors to ensure that we give discount for women and we give them longer payment plans, so that because a woman deals with so much on a monthly basis, your budget is so confined. But if you're able to give women longer payment periods, link them with financial institutions that offer like the KMRC rates that are very good, ensure that you're giving them discount, it becomes easier for a woman to allocate a few coins on a monthly basis to acquire property, either land or housing. So the women sitting in these spaces, because they know the struggle of women and in terms of allocating budgets and money towards a property acquisition, they're able to loosen up very rigid laws or policies within companies or even in the country at a policy level to ensure women are being accommodated enough to own property. And so that for me, I feel is one of the most impactful things that I've seen women sitting in very key strategic positions that are able to influence processes and policies to ensure women are able to acquire property.
What changes maybe would you say you are most proud of so far, and what else do you feel like could be done? What other changes do you wish to see in the future?
One, I'd say as a woman director, I've been able to ensure that every department there's a representation of women. And actually what the department I used to run for customer relationship was all women led, because I feel women are very nice as customer managers and customer relationship officers. So I was able to ensure that there are so many women in each department. I was able to push for policies that allow women even upon giving birth. Like in our company, I really pushed for us to have a lactation room to ensure that even after a woman has come from maternity, they are still able to work productively without the stress of wondering about their kids. Being flexible in terms of ensuring that women are able and are supported even when they need to have late night meetings. So we'd always have forums even with our male agents and just encourage them to always accompany our women agents when they go for night meetings, because sometimes a client wants to see you and you have to go. And so then we used to always encourage partnership at that level, so that we don't have cases of, something happened to a woman agent, and as a company you are unable to explain how this happened. On a national level, I'm happy when we see people like Naisula Lesuda, the MP of Samburu West, who spearheaded for the first time when during the Uhuru administration, women in Samburu owned title deeds. Such a landmark agenda, because women in Samburu never used to own land. Like, it was like a whole taboo, but she was able to navigate and squeeze, and you see it needed a woman MP to do that, to understand, oh my God, these women ideally don't own assets. And that day, I remember, women were crying in Samburu, like almost 1,000 title deeds were issued. And that in itself, coming from a community that is so cultured and it's so rigid towards women empowerment, and now moving forward, the number of title deeds that have been able to be facilitated in Samburu West because of that effort alone is quite inspiring to say.
So those are the things that you feel are big changes that have happened over the years.
Oh yes, and there's one, I'm sorry, very many, through the judicial process, of course, we've had a lot of cases and precedents are being set on how women are being protected in marriages in terms of property ownership. And so we are seeing that women can prove contribution even through care, through taking care of the home, taking care of the children, even if they didn't contribute financially, that is being seen as contribution. And so even in terms of divorce and property are being divided, a woman has a stake. And so that protection of women inside marriages, that ideally secures, especially our older women, that may not have been in the ownership documents, are now still, the court is, the law is allowing them to and recognizing the efforts that they did in supporting the man to go get the money to buy property. So some of those things are quite encouraging, and we are able to advise even women in our space that even if that is there, still be part of the ownership document, be a co-applicant, protect yourself and your generation and your children, and so forth.
All right, and on that note, allow me to hand you over to Miriam, who is at Uhuru Park for the Remma Fest that has been happening. Today is day 3. Masava, if you can hear me, tell us what is happening today on day 3.
Okay, good morning and praise Jesus. My name is Miriam Odanga, and you are live here at Remma Fest 2025, which began on Monday, and today we are on day 3. Day 2 was such an impactful day. We had Lady Bishop Kathy Kiuna, Bishop Felix Funke from Nigeria, quite amazing speaker. Of course, we also had many such for the second. Remma Fest is just where people gather to hear the word of God and to be blessed with what God has in store for us. Remma Fest was begun by Reverend Julian Kula of Rock Assemblies, a powerful man of God that we honor here in the land. And here in day 3, as you can see right behind me, the session has begun with Lady Bishop Kiuna, a powerful woman of God here in Kenya, lead pastor of JCC Parklands and JCC across the country. I just want to invite Pastor Maureen to speak to us and tell us more what Remma Fest is. And day 3, we are here. There's still day 4 and day 5. And also to clarify that Remma Fest is free. No one should charge you. In case you get charged, just know that one is trying to steal from you. So, Pastor Maureen, kindly join us here. We are live on KBC Channel 1. So you can just tell us your name and where you serve and in what capacity.
Hey, Maureen Washira. I'm a pastor with the Rock Assemblies attached to Rock Tabernacle. I serve under Reverend Julian Kula, and also we are here because we are the home of Remma Fest. Yes.
This is such a powerful gathering, bringing people together. Yesterday, the Gen Z going home, singing together alone. They decided to do another crusade in the CBD. Remma Fest. Who is watching us for the first?
So the word Remma basically means word. 15 years Reverend Julian has been doing this. Would you imagine, Miriam? 15. Just inside the church. Meeting, of course, we once met at Lyco Regency, we met at Kempinski, and then now from when now Remma Fest blew up, and we had the first major Remma Fest at Kasarani in 2022. And so Remma basically is a intense prayer, intense word and worship. If you've noticed, we don't have announcements, do any other things. It's just back-to-back word, worship and prayer. And because we believe in the Remma of God becoming active in our lives. And so it's a place to come everybody. Rock Assemblies may be the home of Remma Fest, but would you believe, Miriam, we have over 60 are partnering with us in co-workers. So all the imagine it's 60 churches, over 60 churches. We have pastors from everywhere. That is why even the moderators you're seeing, they're from the ministers are from different churches for us to bring the body of Christ. Yes.
Amazing, amazing. And for someone who's watching, like to could they come to 25 and you're already in day 3.
We still have 2 more days to go, Thursday and Friday. But why would I encourage you to come? Not able to come far. I think our station from where you're viewing from. But the reason why I would want you to come, I need you to come and feel on the ground. I think God is doing when the ecclesia, the church, the body of Christ comes together. And because also significant miracle in this country, because this is where crusades were being held. So we are back here and hearing the word of God and in unity. Yes.
Day 3 has just begun. Yes. So many who have day 4 and day 5. I hear it's going till Saturday morning, early hour. So what should people expect?
Oh, a lot of prayer, word. Today we are having the Gen Zs. So please, Apostle Tim Mwangi will be here. Bishop Funke, as Miriam said, Bishop Kathy is here. Please expect dancing, celebration, victory, and transformation for Kenya.
It's Gen Z Day.
Today is Gen Z Day, the Youth Day. Yeah.
Are we performing?
Yeah, Moji Shot Papa will be Guira is power. Yes.
Also a book. We have also Pastor T ministering and praying for the young.
Yes.
Rev will speak, will be ministering.
Also minister. Of course, our father, Bishop JB Masinde, is also. Let me tell you, we can't exhaust the list. Yeah.
Expectant. That is the word. Expectant. So I'm sending you back to the studio, but make your way to Huru Park entrance, and you shall be blessed. Yeah, that is Lady Bishop Kathy Kiuna speaking. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Miriam. In case you're watching, as Miriam has mentioned, it is free of charge to get to the Remma Fest that is happening. Today is day 3 and it's going all the way to day 5. That is Friday to the wee hours of Saturday morning. So you can make your way to Uhuru Park to get to be in the presence of the Lord. Now let's get back to our conversation right here as we come back to almost wind up on it. We're talking about breaking the glass ceiling and allowing young women to just be able to take up space and know that they themselves can also be able to be part of making the difference. Now, before we took that link from Uhuru Park, we were talking about the things that you're most proud of so far, you know, in the business that you're in, and maybe if we can talk about the things that you are yet to see but are looking forward to them.
Okay. I think of being part of a very intensive decision-making board, what I'm specifically looking forward to is a lot of alignment of county governments and the Constitution. The Constitution is very clear about property ownership, and but at the county level, we are having a lot of tussle back and forth between developers and investors and the county government, and especially when they want to make laws that contravene or contradict what the Constitution says. And so we are always, you know, push and pull, ending up in court, which should not be the case, because investors and government should work close hand in hand together, and especially because we are also participating and supporting government in terms of employment. Government cannot employ everyone, but it can facilitate an environment for private investors and developers to thrive, take off the load of employment, because at the end of the day, real estate has like an 8-tier tax system. We pay so much tax. We're also looking forward to petitioning Parliament and Senate as developers, and this is something on the pipeline, to ensure that county government are not going away from their mandate in terms of terrorizing investors. And this we have faced especially in Kiambu county government, and it's always a tussle investing there. And Kiambu is literally the bedroom of Nairobi. We have to decongest Nairobi. But when you have a very hostile county government that is always fighting with the investors, this is something that, is very worrying, and something that I'm very much participating and spearheading as a real estate consultant, as a developer, and as somebody who understands how investors and the county governments should align and work together. But that not be said, we have, like in Nakuru County, where we have a woman governor, she may not get everything right, but in terms of developers and in terms of approval processes, she really has set the pace. Again, it goes back to what we are saying. Women do understand investments. And so in counties where women are governors, we are not facing a lot of challenges sitting at the table and understanding how to support investors. Vis-a-vis what we are facing, for example, in Kiambu, where it's a whole man as a governor, and you're not able to align. So we're looking forward to laws and policies aligning from the Constitution, us borrowing from the Constitution and seeing how we can support investment, so that at the national level, we get a lot of support, but at the county level where it matters of approvals, we are really being restrained. So those are some of the things that we are looking forward to, because they will ensure that investors and real estate thrives, which impacts women, which impacts young people, and the whole ecosystem that is impacted by the real estate industry. Yes.
Right, okay. All the best on that.
Thank you so much.
Now, there's the perception that real estate is expensive.
Yes.
Like I just can't wake up today and say that I want to invest in real estate. Like it takes a lot, it matters cost.
Yes.
So is it an actual fact, or is this something that you would love to demystify?
I would really want to debunk on that, because we have a real estate asset that are as low as below even 500,000 shillings. And I say that in terms of even just buying a studio apartment, and you're given a very long payment period. We're also having financial institutions that are able to offer mortgages, circles that are able to come and bridge that gap that people view as very expensive. Please remember, our parents bought asset. You remember when you were going to college or university, they'd sell off land, get money. They did it. So we can't come now and say it's so expensive, and we have not looked at the whole scope of real estate. You can start small as even 10,000 shillings a month, and I'm not kidding. So real estate is not expensive, it's not high capital intensive.
The investments that allow you to pay off 10,000 shillings a month?
Yes. You look at products of, again, a woman, username, CEO. They have these packages where you pay very little on a monthly basis to own your land. In Nakuru, and they have a very big portfolio. And so real estate is so diverse. So there's very high-end real estate, and that's okay. That's for the people that can afford it. There's middle-level real estate, and there's low real estate investment portfolios. You just need to sit with the right people, engage them, tell them your budget. We will work within your budget. You tell us, on a monthly basis, I'm able to do this. We will structure the right portfolio for you and come up with the right payment structure that does not exhaust you financially, but also supports you towards real estate investment. Yes.
All right. And we know that this is one of the agendas of the current government, that is affordable housing.
Affordable housing, yes.
So you are also participating in that in one way or the other.
Yes.
And the fact that you also assist with the employment situation in the country, because when there's a property that is being developed or something is, construction is happening, then it means there are people who are going to be employed there. So you're also part of that.
Yes, and government has been keen on engaging the private sector and private developers in terms of the affordable housing program, and ensuring that we are also coming up with land that is so affordable for people to construct if they don't want to take the affordable housing program that government is. So they are always engaging us and ensuring and supporting our ecosystem and bringing us on board. They call us for a lot of consultative meeting, because at the end of the day, they are doing something that we've done for years. And so what they're always challenging us is, you must have products that align with affordability. And that is where the KMRC rates come. They are able to finance people below 15 million housing, below 10 million housing, and they are able to tell us, you have to structure this so seamlessly. Give somebody 20 to 10 years. Let us make housing so affordable for everyone. And that kind of initiative is good because government and private sector understands that to bridge the housing gap, we need to partner and we need to work together on the same. Yes.
All right. Yeah. We need to wind up on our conversation. Maybe a word to other women who are looking to break that glass ceiling. What word would you have for them? That's your camera, right?
Oh, thank you so much. I'd want to tell every woman watching this that you have a right to own property. It can be done. And you have to start with your state of mind. So remove the fear of investing, remove the fear that you need a lot of money to begin. Believe in yourself. Once your mind understands and conceptualizes that you can own property, the action part is very easy to implement. But as long as your state of mind is still stuck at, oh, it's so expensive, I can't do this, you may not be able to progress. So let's start by fixing how you talk to yourself in terms of real estate investment, how you engage with this conversation in this industry. Remove the fear. Let's get started with the little budgets that you have, because it can be done and it is your right. You have every right to own property and to own a house, land, anything that you have envisioned to own in regards to real estate industry. And we help you do it. We are all over social media. You can find us and we'll be there to walk the journey with you as well. Yes.
This is what we call making a difference. That is what you are doing in that space.
Thank you so
much.
much.
It is beautiful to see, you know, a woman who's also paving way for other women to just, you know, take up that that mantle as well and go and run with it.
Thank you so
just
much.
To finish off now, what does it mean for you to make that difference? You know, personally, what does it personally mean to you?
I think for me, it's legacy building, it's fulfillment. It's knowing that everything that I do, every decision that I make to empower women to own property is something inbuilt in me. It's something I was called to do as a woman, as a mother, and to help women generate wealth through real estate investment. So it's a personal agenda for me. It's a mission for me that I wake up every day thinking, how am I going to help a woman or a young person own an asset? And I do a lot of educative content on social media. I'm so loud about empowering people to own assets and be secure and know that they deserve to own property and they deserve to invest in this industry. So for me, it's quite a mission for me and something that I want to accomplish, and something when I accomplish it gives me so much fulfillment. So it's quite a passion for me as well.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for gracing our studios today, and thank you for just shedding light on this conversation. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Vivian.
This is where we get to end this conversation, and I believe that you know, this conversation has served as wind beneath your wings for you to be able to keep flourishing and to just flourish and keep flying away. You know, to the young woman who's watching, you have a representation right here. This is where we end it. My name is Vivian Dego. We do this each and every Wednesday where we bring you women who are doing great things in this nation. Today's guest was Abigail Zuena, who is one of the directors, Finsco Africa. This is where we say goodbye. Till next time, do enjoy the rest of your viewing.
The young generation awakens on Y254, the leading youth TV station in Kenya. We treat you to current affairs, entrepreneurship, health, and human interest conversations.
It's art, it's culture.
Movies, gossip and trends, sports,
Drama.
We bring you a vibe like no other, straight to your living room.
to keep you informed, inspired, entertained, and most of all, refreshed.
We are such a vibe.
Y254. Imagine.
Na mbono nang'eng'ania bwana ya mwenye na nilimwambia wewe am actually married.
So what
to 5 breathing wives.
Kazi ya ujasusi ni kazi ambayo inakutambulisha ujue ule mtu, mahali yako na vile ako mpaka jina.
Can you tell this honorable court what is the name of that person? Because your honor, money has been poured. Mbona sijakotoa ngozi niuse na pia inatengeneza bags.
Mheshimiwa kweli.
Sasa mimi unaniuliza, si wewe ndio unauliza?
Kwani mimi ni mnyama mheshimiwa?
Between me and you.
Wewe
ulipewa ngapi ndio nimalize? I can double or triple.
Wewe sikiza, hatuko hapa mambo. Tena uoni haya mbele yako tu unataka
hata siwe naongea na wewe.
Na wewe pia mimi ndio naamrisha hii koti.
This week's show is inspired by you actually. You've been talking to us on social media about the challenges of traffic jams. And if you're looking for a job, there is a high chance that you find it in a city than probably in a rural area. It is therefore no surprise that a lot more people are moving to cities. And the cumulative effect of all of these people coming into the cities are scenes such as this: traffic jams, and lots of them. I, for one, dislike being stuck in traffic, but we send our reporters out around the continent to find out the situation in your country, and here is what they found.
You know how they say time waits for no one? Well, in Lagos, Nigeria, time itself is caught in an endless traffic jam. Over 40% of cars in Nigeria are registered in Lagos. With so many cars on the roads, the traffic situation only worsens. Psychiatrists even say that traffic jams can damage immune systems and increase risks for hypertensive patients. The struggle with traffic makes it difficult for Nigeria's youth.
Hi, I'm on my way. I'm just in a small jam. That's Nairobi for you. And when I say a small jam, it can be anything from 20 minutes to 2 hours. According to the latest data, Kenya registered more than 4.3 million vehicles by 2021. That's 2.5 times more than 10 years ago. That's a trajectory that looks like this. For Kenya's last government, roads were a huge part of the agenda, also to alleviate traffic in the cities. They did manage to build quite a few roads, like this expressway, which is built on top of the main city highway and passes straight through the middle of the city. It does get you there quicker, but it's also nicknamed a highway for the rich because you pay to use it, buses are not allowed on it, and while you're cruising on the highway, most Nairobians are stuck in traffic.
It's top of the morning in Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm on Marlborough Drive, and it's a stretch of road that goes all the way up to Sandton, the richest square mile in Africa. Traffic is backed up, and it's all because of load shedding. Load shedding refers to scheduled power cuts. At first, it lasted for about an hour, but now South Africans are dealing with between 2 hours and 4 hours of power cuts. And you can imagine it is frustrating motorists.
This is one of the roads that leads into Accra's Central Business District. And every day between 6 and 10 a.m., over 300,000 people drive into the CBD, creating congestions that last for hours. Now, to avoid being swallowed up in such traffic jams, many young children have to wake up at the crack of dawn to get to school early.
By the time they get here, they are tired. They are almost exhausted. So, teaching them becomes very difficult. Because when they come, they see it as an opportunity to come and rest. Do you understand? You teaching them whilst their friends are concentrating, contributing, they are not. They feel very tired, self-esteem very low, and that is a challenge. The positive aspect, it helps the child to be prepared for the future job prospect.
And talking to older students, it is likely to continue if nothing major changes about public transportation. And talking about public transportation, it can be quite exhausting sitting in the same spot for hours. The group Drift Hunters want to make the sport more acceptable.
For me, drifting is the fastest way around.